Welcome. What's up, everyone? I'm Robert Flores from MLB Network, and we want to thank you for joining us from wherever you are joining us from, because for the next 3 hours, we're going to be coming to you on MLB.tv, MLB.com, MLB's YouTube page, and, of course, Twitch.tv/Sony San Diego Studio. Now, if you're watching on Twitch, make sure your account is connected because, yes, chat, the drops are active. And when the game fires up on March 28th or March 24th, if you get early access, you could have some drops already in your inventory. So make sure your account is connected because the drops are active and those bronze diamond or those bronze cards aren't going to open themselves. Just kidding. I've been told that packs, the Twitch drops, are a little extra juicy this year. All right, this stream, as the title would suggest, is a ratings reveal special. Now, these are offline ratings, okay? We've got Diamond Dynasty news and Road to the Show news a little bit later, but that's all to come. We're going to be taking a look at the ratings for every major league team and some select players. All right, let's bring in my co-host, comedian, writer, producer, huge baseball fan, huge Yankee fan, the Kid Mero. How you doing, man?
What's up, Flo? Man, I'm good. I'm ready to go, man. We got 3 hours going to fly by.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Let's get the chat active, man. Let's go.
Yeah, the chat is always active. Absolutely. Now, I know you're a huge Yankees fan, but the big question is, how good are you on the sticks? That's what I think everyone wants to know.
I'm very, I'm how do you say, intermediate advanced.
There you go. I like that. I like that. Now, I think I heard that one of your kids was giving you a hard time about your gaming prowess, your gaming skills. Is that right?
Listen, if you have kids, you understand that they are the masters of the PlayStation domain, like whatever you're playing on. If they're the console masters, PC masters, whatever you want to call it, they are. It's above me. You know what I mean? Like if we were playing Nintendo, I might have a shot. You know what I mean? But this is advanced stuff right now. You know what I mean? Y'all know what it is with the show.
Absolutely.
It's a simulation. It's not arcade stuff.
No. There are some very, very talented players that play this game all across the community. Let's bring in Rory McCann. He's part of the team at Sony. And Rory, you're going to be kind of our ratings guru. Just overall picture. How do you and your team come up with these ratings? And again, these are offline ratings, not Diamond Dynasty ratings that we're going to be revealing today.
Hey, Robert, it's great to be here. Glad to join you both. So the way that we go about ratings to start the year is really looking at the past 3 seasons and kind of giving equal weights to each season to really balance out the player. Now, we have an interesting thing this year where 2020 was 3 seasons ago. Only 60 games were played. So this year, what you can expect is like there might be heavier weights to look at for 22 and 21 compared to 20, but that doesn't mean that we're completely excluding 2020. So when you see the ratings, you're going to see basically a 3-year average, but you're going to look at it and see, okay, there's a lot more recency kind of plays into it more so than looking way back in 2020.
All right, so Rory is going to be with us throughout the stream and going to be popping in and out as we discuss these offline ratings. All right, Mero, let's start with your favorite team, the New York Yankees, a team that won the American League East. They were 99-63 last year.
That's
overall, right. Fifth in pitching as well, 15th in contact. Yeah, there's still some swing and miss in that lineup. No, first defensively. Now that's right. What do you think about these ratings here, Mero?
I'm kind of okay with them. I don't know about 15 seems right for contact. 15 seems about right. I don't know about speed, bro. We got some guys that got wheels on the Yankees. I'm pretty sure,
Yeah.
But overall fifth, I don't know. I mean, I was gonna ask Rory up top. Is there any personal bias that plays into these ratings? You know what I mean? Because people are serious about their fandom, so I'm just like, yo, listen, if you're a Red Sox guy, you're gonna want to bump the Yankees down a little bit. Yeah. I'm just saying there might be a little personal bias in here.
Rory, are you biased against the Yankees?
If anything, I am biased for the Yankees. I'm a lifelong Yankees fan myself.
Okay.
Seeing them as fifth overall, I question it myself. But the way that everything goes into these ratings is purely based off of the numbers.
Yeah.
There is no personal biases going into it.
Hey, real quick, first in defense. I know some people in the chat had some raised eyebrows about that. What about that?
Put him back down.
I mean, the Yankees are a very fundamentally sound defensive team. If you look just at the outfield, you've got Harrison Bader in center.
Yeah.
You've got Judge in right, who, you know, last year we saw can even play center field. And then you look at the infield, Gleyber Torres came around really well at second base. With Rizzo at first, he's great. And then you look behind the plate, Jose Trevino and Kyle Higashioka, that combo, they're both insanely great defensive catchers. So then I forgot about third base. You have the DJ LeMahieu, Josh Donaldson.
Yeah.
And both of them, you know, very great defenders. Last year, both were excellent. DJ can play all over the infield. So,
Absolutely.
You know, in my opinion, I would put them up as number one, if not a top three team defensively.
Well, noted Yankee fan Max Wildstein in my ear just telling me that the Yankees were number one in defensive runs saved. So if you got a problem with it in the chat, the numbers don't lie. All right,
there you go. Thank you.
Exactly.
I was waiting for that. I was like, listen, men lie, women lie, numbers do not lie, okay? This is data-driven. Robert just said it's no bias involved, okay? Data.
All right, as far as the individual player rankings on the New York Yankees, I think we all have a pretty good idea who's going to be their highest-rated player. Let's get some reaction from a handful of Yankee players themselves on their own ratings.
My overall player rating is, I'd say a 94, 93. You know, I feel like the power numbers probably ticked up a little bit. I stole a couple bases last year, so hopefully that kind of put me over the edge. Oof, I like that. You guys just went with the number because my number's 9. I get it.
I think my overall player rating is an 81. Oh, nice.
I think my overall rating player is 75.
Okay.
For my arm strength, 1 to 99. 80.
Your arm rating is at 84.
Let's go.
All right, once again, the captain, the newly minted captain, Mero, at 99 overall, matching his jersey number. He had arguably, Mero, maybe the best offensive season in the history of the game. These ratings are definitely worthy of that type of year.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like you said, you said it, man. Like his season last year was historic.
Yeah.
No hyperbole there. You know what I mean? He did the damn thing. And like he said, he stole a couple of bases. So the speed should have ticked up a little bit, bringing him overall up to a 99. Listen, I don't think this is like, let's just give this guy 99 because he's the face of the franchise. He earned this rating, 100,000%.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And, but I do like the Yankees overall as a team hedging their ratings and be like, I think I'm like a 75. And they're like, I'm an 82. That's great. Shout out to, listen, class act, love this team, very classy guys. You know what I mean? I would be up there like, I'm 110. I know for a fact I'm 110.
Well, you heard from Nestor Cortez and Oswald Cabrera. Nestor Cortez is one of my favorites. It's a shame that he wasn't able to take part in the upcoming World Baseball Classic. But 83 stamina, Mero, 88 four-seam fastball control. This guy has quickly became a cult favorite among the Yankee fan base.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, I think it's something to do with the Yankees' facial hair policy. Like the guys come in and they just get like the 70s stash and they automatically become like 10% more lovable, man. You either like start to hate them more or you love them more. And with Nasty Nestor, it's been I love you because you have a taxi driver mustache and you look like a dad, but it's really endearing. You know what I mean? And the control is on point. He has mastered his four-seam fastball, and I don't think there's anything wrong with these ratings. I think they should be maybe just give him the 2 points and make it a 90 with the control because the guy really locates his pitches.
All right, you got Oswaldo Cabrera fielding at 81, part of that #1 overall ranking as a team in defense, and the 84 as an arm. As you heard him in his reaction video, he guessed a little bit lower than 84. So just to recap the Yankee portion of this, Aaron Judge, of course, checking in at 99 with the 99 rating. Carlos Rodon, the recently acquired lefty, He's ahead of his now rotation mate, Garrett Cole Bebe at 89, Luis Severino at 86, and Michael Keane checking in with a rating of 85. All right, one of the many contenders for the AL East crown, the Toronto Blue Jays, playing in arguably the best division in all of baseball. And Merrill, overall, they're at third, pitching just outside the top 10. Inside the top 10 in both contact and defense. Look at this defense here, right behind the Yankees at number 2. A powerful lineup. They are second-rated power team and another top 10 category in speed inside the top 10. All right, what do you think of the Blue Jays there, especially considering how big of a rival they potentially can be for the Yankees in this division?
There you said the operative word potentially could be. I think the Blue Jays themselves, like I've heard Vladdy Jr. talk about the rivalry between them and the Yankees. I'm like, listen, you got to beat us a lot first to become a rival. You know what I mean? You can't just lose every season to us and then be like, oh, we're rivals. We're not rivals yet, buddy. Calm down. But Vladdy Jr., the power numbers, you know, they're up there. This guy's he's a monster, brother. And the Jays, I got them winning 95 games this season. Ooh. You know what I mean? Like, they're a really good team.
So you have them winning the division. That's awesome. That's very interesting.
I have the Yankees winning 103 games, and I have the Jays winning 95 games.
Okay. All right. I'm going to put you down for a 103-win season for the Yankees.
Lock it in.
Lock it in. That is now locked in. All right. What about one of my favorite names in all of the game? Behind the plate for the Toronto Blue Jays, Alejandro Kirk. Now, you might think, hey, it's Kirk. No, Mero. He's from Mexico, so it's pronounced Kirk. All right? Kirk. That's right. What do you think of Alejandro Kirk behind the plate? This is the dude that can rake.
Yeah, no, I was just about to say absolute, rake machine behind the plate. You know what I mean? Fielding, I was about to say fielding is up there as well. You know what I mean? So this guy's a beast, man. I see guys like this and I'm like, why can't you be in pinstripes, my guy? Like my pinstripes, not just any pinstripes. But the guy's a beast, man. Like I said, they got a solid young squad. I think they're going to do numbers, man. They're not going to be the Yankees, but they're going to do numbers.
Let's talk about Alek Manoah, who is emerged as one of the best pitchers in the American League. I love I just love his moxie, Mero. I love the way he pitches. He pitches with an attitude. I mean, his little dust-up and words with Garrett Cole late in the season last year. I love that kind of stuff. What are your impressions of Alek Manoah, the pitcher?
He's a firecracker, man. You said it. The pitching clutch, I like it being a 99. Some people might say, oh, it might be too high, whatever. But it just ties in perfectly with what you said. Like his attitude, you know what I mean? He pitches mad. I like guys that play mad. Yeah. You know what I mean? And don't care about mixing it up with other people. It makes it fun. You know what I mean? So also, let me just say, these kind of with the pitching clock now being instituted, let's see how this affects these guys' ratings, how they, there's a lot of different stuff this year going on. So especially with pitching. So let's see if you can hold on to that pitching clutch 99, guy.
Yeah, I like that. Hey, let's take a look at the overall. Remember, these are offline ratings, okay, folks? I know some people in the chat may be a little bit confused. Maybe they got in late, but these are offline ratings, franchise, exhibition, etc. We're going to talk about Diamond Dynasty in just a little bit, but again, here's the top 5 rated players for the Toronto Blue Jays, headed up by Alek Manoah and Vlad Jr., Alejandro Kirk, George Springer, and Kevin Gausman. Tampa Bay Rays, Mero, I would think as a Yankee fan, they have to be your worst nightmare. They are traditionally underrated, undervalued, and all they do is win. And all they do is win a lot. You take a look at their team rankings here. Overall, 15th, that's probably a little low for my taste. Inside the top 10 in both pitching, defense, and speed. And then power towards the bottom at 28, but solidly in the middle of the pack there at 12th. What are your impressions of the Tampa Bay Rays? As I said, they've given the Yankees and their fans fits over the last handful of years.
Yeah. I mean, they like to come in and ruin the season late. But I'll say this, the speed rating makes sense to me. They got a lot of guys that got wheels on that team. The power is appropriate. They're like, I feel like they'd spray the ball all over the place and just place that 06 Mets kind of small ball. Just get them on and bump them over.
All right.
I mean, they're mid. let's be like I got my over-under wins. I got the win in 88 games. You know, not shameful, but like you know, a little bit over 500. They're gonna be in like that third place, fourth place in the AL East to me. You know what I mean? Like I don't even like the 15th overall is a little low. I think it's right there for them. You know what I mean? Because they're a very kind of middle of the pack team. This is not a shot at the Rays, by the way. If you're in the chat and you're mad at me, saying no, he's just a Yankee fan, he's hating on the Rays. I'm not. I'm being an objective baseball fan right now.
Oh, they're extreme. They're furious with you. Let me just give you a hint. They're furious with you. Hey, let's continue this Rays conversation. We got some reaction from a handful of their players, starting with their left-handed pitcher, Shane McClanahan.
Oh, baby.
Player rating in MLB The Show is an 84 to 85. I think that's respectable. No way, dude. What? I was like, that's way too. Like, what's my speed on there? I'm pretty fast.
All right, he thinks they're underselling his speed a little bit. I love a pitcher that concerned about his speed. I love that.
I was about to say, I was like, how often are you on the bases? Like, I know you're concerned about speed. But listen, he's not wrong. You know, he's just listen. He's the guy. He's the guy in that rotation, man. Like. You know, 93 sounds about right for him. You know, like again, a lot of these guys are being very humble. Like I feel like it's a little like it might be kind of fronting a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yo, you know you're a 93, so you're a 93, my guy. There's no shame in that.
No shame.
You should have been like, I think I'm an 83, 84, maybe on a good day. Like, come on, cut it out. Let your nuts hang, bro.
Yeah, no shame in what Shane McClanahan does. He's emerging as maybe arguably the best left-handed starter in all of baseball. Arguably. Obviously, there's some good ones out there. Another electric arm in that Tampa Bay's rotation. Now, he's a little banged up right now, is Tyler Glasnow. Glasnow's rating, his hits per 9, 84. The slider break, a filthy 99. J-Mac, we got Tyler Glasnow reaction? No, we don't. Okay. Unfortunately, Merrill, as I said, I mean, Glasnow has electric stuff, and when he's right, he is one of the best in the game. But unfortunately, he's banged up right now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the 99 on the slider break makes sense. He's got, like you said, he's got nasty stuff, you know, and his, you know, the movement is crazy on his stuff, and that slider is like it's his go-to pitch, so it makes sense that it would be a 99. Listen, he's banged up, but you know, baseball, it's a long season. You know, like I said, I got the win in 88 games overall.
Yeah.
So, you know, let's see what he does. I think, you know, the rating is appropriate. Okay. Again, don't get mad at me, chat. I know you guys want him to be like a 99 overall. He's not. Sorry. I'm an objective baseball fan here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think, you know, great rating for him. Solid guy. Can't wait to actually see him on the bump, though.
One of the most exciting young players in all of baseball is Wander Franco. Look at the contact against lefties. He's of course a switch hitter. Really does damage there. 94 vision, so you know that PCI is going to be nice and healthy and huge. Phrasing. Mero, what are your thoughts on Wander Franco? I love watching this guy play.
Yo, I love him, and I love. As a fellow Latino, I love guys with names like Wander. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys not named Joe or Steve. You know what I'm saying? It's Wander Franco. Not the Wander, like, again, a name. You know what I mean? Like, as a baseball fan, even as a very, like, dedicated baseball fan, there's always guys that you're like, who? Did he just get called up? Wander is not one of those guys. He's a guy. You know, capital A, capital G. You know what I mean? So I can't wait to see him doing his thing. And I might use him. I might trade him around, you know, in the franchise mode. Might put him on the Yankees. You know
hey, you can't put him in Yankees pinstripes. I'm just gonna tell you that. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If I hear you're putting Wander Franco in Yankee pinstripes, I'm going to go to your house, unplug your console, and take it home with me. I just can't. I can't have that. I can't have that. All right, just to look at the top 5 for the Tampa Bay Rays going into 2023. Shane McClanahan is the top at the list at 93. Couple of pitchers there in Rasmussen and Glasnow, and Randy Arozarena just above 80 at 81 overall. Now, the Tampa Bay Rays are always a team that seems to surprise people or surpass expectations. The same could be said last year for the Baltimore Orioles. They were in it till the very end as far as the playoff chase. Their rankings going into this year, 18th overall, just outside the top 20 in pitching, 3rd in defense, 5th in speed, 20th in power, and 16th in contact. Now, Mero, the Orioles are a team that the Yankees in the last couple of years have really beat up on. But those days are changing. The tide's turning a little bit. The Orioles are a good young team on the come up.
A little bit. I prefer a little bit. But yeah, I mean, listen, like you said, they were in it till the very end last season. They were really hot second half. You know, let's see. Honestly, I'm gonna be real with you, bro. I was not expecting to see no single-digit numbers in any of those rankings. I'm very surprised. I guess pleasantly surprised, you know, as an objective baseball fan.
Yeah.
But, you know, the O's, again, like, looking at my little chart, I got them winning 70 games.
I like that you called yourself an unbiased fan, and you used the air quotes. That was a good job. That was a good job.
Like all these guys been doing in the reaction videos,
yeah.
I gotta hedge a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I gotta pretend to be objective here.
Hey, speaking of reactions, we've got some reactions from a couple of Oriole players, starting with Ceddy Wap, Cedric Mullins.
If I had to guess, I'd probably say like an 87.
Oh wow. 86. Okay.
Adley, what do you think your overall arm rating is in MLB The Show 2023?
90.
On the dot.
On the dot, 90 it is.
Wait.
Adley Rutschman was the most impactful rookie, I thought, last season. Mero, the Orioles season really changed once he got to the big leagues. As you look at his fielding at 93, and he was right on the money with his 90 rating. As I said, look, the Orioles are still a team with some growing to do, but they've got some potential building blocks, and Adley Rutschman is one of them.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like you said, he came in and sparked things up over there in Baltimore. And, you know, hopefully for O's fans and objective baseball fans like myself, he continues to do so. You know what I mean? Because the guy's fun to watch. You know what I mean? So the fielding, the arm is up there as it should be. You know, this guy's a young stud, man. He's doing his thing. Maybe they'll win 77 games instead of just 70.
Okay. All right. Yeah, the Orioles last year were 83-79, finished fourth in their division. You heard from Cedric Mullins. This guy can do a little bit of everything. I love his tools. I love his skill set. Contact against righties is at 79. The steal just outside 80 with another matching 79 record. Cedric Mullins, what are your thoughts on Cedric Mullins as a player?
My thoughts were, I started cracking up. I don't know if they heard me. I started cracking up immediately because he was like, I'm an 84, bro. They were like, no, you're not, my guy. You're an 81. So, I mean, listen, I like the confidence, bro. I like the confidence. Hopefully he brings that into the season with them and continues to, you know, play how he's been playing. I think this is the season where Ceddy Wap goes from an 81 to his natural position of 84.
Okay. You think this is the year he gets up to the ranking he thinks he deserves to be?
I mean, listen, did you hear the disappointment in his voice when they were like, yo, you're an 81, my guy?
Yeah.
He's like, oh.
Hey, his teammate Austin Hayes, 79 rating against contact against lefties and an 86 arm. He's got some sneaky pop, too. He sent a couple of balls over Mount Baltimore. Remember, they moved the fences back before last year there at Camden Yards. Taking a look at the top 5 rated players for the Orioles, you got Felix the Animal Batista in the bullpen.
Hey.
Adley Rutschman and Ryan Mountcastle are right behind him, the aforementioned Cedric Mullins. And Grayson Rodriguez, one of the best young prospects in all of baseball. He would have had a spot in this rotation if he didn't have some injury concerns last year, but he is in the inside the 80 mark with 80 overall. All right, for more, let's take a look at the top 5 bag thieves. Remember, rule changes, bigger bases. That could lend itself to more athleticism, more speed on the base pass. You got the always speed merchant, Tim LaCastro, Bubba Thompson, Jorge Mateo of the Baltimore Orioles, John Birdie, and Terrence Gore, rounding out the top 5 steal category of ratings at 94. Rory, let's bring you back in here. How do you think rule changes and the bigger bases, how do you think that might, affect the ratings of a handful of players across the league?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm hopefully at least we'll see more stolen bases happening. With more stolen bases, obviously, you know, everybody's steal ratings will be going up. I could look back at how the Yankees started out last season. In the first 2 months, they were bag thieves, and then it kind of like died off towards the end. And it seemed like a lot of the league was stealing pretty early on, and then midsummer kind of slowed down. So I'm really hoping that we see 50 stolen bases this year from somebody. You know, last year we got 41 from John Birdie, and he only played in like 102 games. But if he plays 130, 140, he probably gets to the 50 stolen bases, and that's exciting to me as a baseball fan, just to have that excitement on the bases.
Hey, give us some of the nuances and difference when it comes to rating or evaluating a player's ability to steal and his speed.
Yeah, so with looking just strictly at their speed, you know, we're looking at the metrics that, you know, their sprint speed, how fast they are, their bursts, you know, their highest sprint speeds they reach, as well as their averages. Whereas with stealing, it is going pretty much just off of, you know, how often did they steal, how successful were they? Like, even if you stole 40 bases, but you were caught stealing 20 times, you know, your stealing rating may not be that great. So it depends on, you know, your consistency with being successful, then also your consistency with stealing. And then if you have a track record of it, you know, we're going to look at you and be like, okay, so you did really well this last year. And then also you have this pedigree like Jorge Mateo, where in the minors as a prospect, he was stealing like crazy. First couple of years in the majors, just getting his feet under him. But then last year led the AL with 35 stolen bases. So we just kind of factor in all of these things. And like Bubba Thompson, we look at him, he had 49 stolen bases in AAA last year, then came up and stole 18 more in the majors. And so we're looking at all of this stuff just to make sure, like, okay, how accurately can we rate these players?
Hey, Mero, favorite base stealer of all time?
Of all time?
Yeah.
Man. You know, obviously, I feel like the default answer is Ricky Henderson, but I'm going to go a little, I'm going to go with my homeland, the República Dominicana, and say Jose Reyes, La Melaza.
I like that. That's a good call. That's an excellent call. And yes, I think everyone's probably default answer would be Ricky Henderson. I mean, you got to have the guy that's popping the collar as he's rounding. Okay, Mero, let's go to your arch nemesis. As a Yankee fan, the Boston Red Sox. Overall, rated 16th, inside the top 15 in pitching, inside the top 10. They're ranked 10th in defense, 14th in speed, 21st in power, and 20th in contact. Now, as an ardent Yankee fan, have you reached the point of your rivalry where you have a begrudging respect for the Red Sox and their fans?
I mean, I can say that now because because they're absolute like they're terrible. So I feel like I can say, listen, I respect you guys, I respect your fans. Keep trying. You know what I mean? It's kind of like if you you know, like if you have kids and like they trip on something and they fall, you don't want like you don't want to exacerbate it and be like, oh wow, you fell, you're terrible. Wow, you get more coordinated, dummy. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about the Red Sox. So they suck horrendously. So I feel like okay telling them that they can go forth and try to win some games. I got them at 32-130 this year.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Now, Red Sox fans would counter with, hey, but we've won titles at least since Uber was invented. You know, the Yankee fans, 2009, that's kind of a long way to go.
Listen, Uber was piloting in 2009.
That's true.
Like I was there. I saw it. You know what I mean? they won the second round of investment. So technically, Uber was around when the Yankees won last. I'm just saying.
Well, listen, no matter or where, depending on where the Red Sox where the Red Sox end up this year, Rafi Devers is going to be a big part of it and going to be right in the middle of it. Let's hear from Rafi Devers on his rating.
80? 84, wow.
Hey, Mero, he was definitely underselling himself on purpose. He knows he's not an 80.
Come on, like he must not play the game. Like if he says he's an 80, come on, dog. Like you know what you got. First of all, he's gonna like I can say this because he's playing for the Dominican Republic this year in the WBC. the guy's a monster. You know what I mean? Like, he got extended by the Red Sox. He's good. His pockets are good. So now he can go out there and just play with confidence and just do what he does. You know what I mean? He's solid, man. Like, he's not a streaky guy. You know, like, you could depend on him in the middle of the lineup. So, you know, he'll be one of the bright spots to watch. That's what I can say. That's one positive thing I can say to Red Sox fans. I think Devers will be fun to watch this year.
I think Devers announced himself as a rookie when he took Aroldis Chapman oppo at Yankee Stadium. I remember that to this day, and it's one of the most amazing things I've seen someone do at the plate. You mentioned the WBC. We're going to have more on the World Baseball Classic and MLB The Show 23 in just a second. But let's talk about their new closer, Mero, Kenley Jansen. After time with the Braves and the Dodgers for a long-time Dodger, now he's in Boston. The arm just outside 90 at 88 and hits per 9, a very robust 95. Kenley Jansen, Mero, has that unusual windup and delivery. It's going to be interesting to see how the new rules, if that impacts him at all.
Yep. I was just about to say, man, like the guys with the funky windups, you know, the El Ducas, the Juan Marichals of the world, you know what I mean? They're going to have to see what happens, man, like with this pitch clock situation. But yeah, I mean, the guy's a beast, you know what I mean? Like you said, he was a beast with the Dodgers for a very long time and moved around. But I think he still got it, man. And the ratings seem, you know, right there, appropriate with his abilities. I think the guy's gonna do his thing this year. You know, for the longest time, I thought he was Dominican because his name is Kenley. You know, it sounds very like he's either Dominican or Cuban. You know what I'm saying? So, but he's not. But yo, I think the rating works for him, and I think that, you know, he'll be another bright spot for the otherwise very dark and dingy Red Sox.
Yeah, the chat is definitely not feeling your Red Sox comments there.
I mean,
but
like, listen,
hey, Adam Duvall.
Objective, data-driven opinions. All my opinions are data-driven, Rob.
I think Adam Duvall was one of the sneaky pickups for any team in the offseason. He helps the Red Sox immensely. When he's right, he can drive in runs, he can hit the ball out of the ballpark, and he plays good defense. Power against lefties, very high at 88. The power against righties is at 70. So let's take a look at the top 5 overall players for the Boston Red Sox. Chris Sale, who made his spring debut this week. He looked pretty good. He checks in at 87. Right behind him, Trevor Story, who's going to miss a good portion of the year with an elbow injury. Rafi Devers, Kenley Jansen right behind him, and John Schreiber is at 82. So that wraps up the American League East as we are just getting underway in this MLB The Show 23 Ratings Reveal Special. I'm Robert Flores alongside comedian, producer, writer, the Kid Mero, and huge Yankees fan. Also, we're going to hear from Rory from the Sony team to get his thoughts on the ultimate ratings for all these teams. Remember, these are offline ratings only. So if you're just now joining us, these are offline ratings only. We're going to get to some Diamond Dynasty news and World Baseball Classic news. But this is such a great community, Mero. It's growing, it's thriving, and more importantly, the people in this community are smart. They're insightful. Yes. I'm looking at all these comments. Very insightful comments. Me too. Absolutely. Hey, and we welcome all of you that are joining us here. Even all you bunt cheesers, you rage quitters, you R2ers, and all you toxic players out there. We're glad you're here. We're glad you're here. All right, let's start with the National League East. Let's continue with the National League East and start with the Atlanta Braves. Mero, this team is good. They are talented. They are young. They are deep. They are first overall. The #1 ranking in the National League, second in pitching, outside the top 15 in defense, but everywhere else, Mero, inside the top 10, including first in power.
Now, this tracks, man. The Braves, I mean, if the Mets weren't so good, the Braves would be the best team in the NL. IMO. You know what I'm saying? Don't fry me in the chat, y'all. This is my opinion. These are unbiased professional opinions. I got them winning 100 games. They're a squad, man. Acuna, like everybody on that team, is a problem. You know what I'm saying? So these ratings are. I expected them to be top 10 in everything but defense. I was thinking like maybe 13 to 15 range on defense, but they got it, man. They got it. This is a team to look out for 100%.
Oh, absolutely. Let's hear from Michael Harris II, the reigning NL Rookie of the Year.
I think my rating is going to be 87. That's good. That's good. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, he's an electric player, Mero, and you take a look at his ratings and numbers here. First of all, he's got a great nickname, the Troublemaker, and he's definitely trouble for opponents. He showed that last year.
Man, yo, Mike is. I say, man, this team is full of like young studs, man. Mike Harris is one of them. Like, I actually can't wait to watch these guys. I'm excited for the season. As a Yankee fan, I know what the end is going to be. The Yankees reign supreme, but still fun to watch everybody else have a crack at it. And the Braves are a bunch of young guys, a bunch of studs. Listen, man, the NL could get crazy. You got the Padres, you got the Braves, you got the Mets. There's a lot of strong teams in the NL, man.
The National League is top heavy, and that division, it's going to be a bloodbath with those teams that you mentioned. All right, let's go to the pitching side, and you got Max Fried, the lefty, the outstanding lefty for the Atlanta Braves. 90 in fielding, so he's definitely a pitcher that can field his position. His slider control is at 94. And Mero, young, talented pitching. That's been a benchmark for the Atlanta Braves for the longest time.
Yeah, man. I like. Listen, I'm a old. I was gonna say old school. I'm not old school. 90s is now. Is the 90s old school now? Is it?
We're old.
If I'm talking about like,
old.
We're old. I was gonna say, yo, Maddox. I remember the Maddox Glavine Smoltz days, and for some reason, I've always seen the Braves as like, yo, these guys have great pitching. They always focus on pitching, and they're keeping that legacy alive, man. With these guys, the rotation is nuts. And, you know, like you said, a lot of young guys with great stuff, great arms. Yeah, the bullpen is solid. So shout out to the Braves, man. They're gonna make some noise this year.
Yeah, Max Fried finished second in the NL Cy Young vote to the eventual winner, Sandy Alcantara. Ronald Acuna Jr. Now, Mero, no matter if you're a fan of the Yankees, the Dodgers, or any other team, I would think you would love watching this guy play. I mean, when he hits a home run, just YouTube his bat flip that he had this winter when he was playing in Venezuela. It took him about 9 minutes to round the bases, and I loved every bit of it. I loved it.
Yo, I mean, listen, baseball, they instituted the pitch clock. They did all this stuff to make the game go faster, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I think that's all in the name of entertainment. And these guys, Ronald in particular, is one of those guys that is just fun to watch, bro. He's just mad entertaining. And, you know, I hope he hits 90 homers so I can see him flip the bat 90 times this year. Because that dude is he's just entertainment personified.
Yeah. I want him to hit a homer, and I want him to DX chop while he's rounding the bases. I want that to happen. It's probably not going to happen, but I think it would be
put it in
excellent.
the air, Rob.
Yeah.
Hit the catcher with the sweet chin music.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, let's hear from Max Fried on his rating. Oh, check that. We got the Braves top 5. Sorry about that. That's my fault. We'll fix it in post. Here's your top 5 rated players. Spencer Strider at 94. I mean, just look at the young talent here that we've been talking about. Austin Riley. I mean, aside from Nolan Arenado, is that the best third baseman in baseball? Maybe. Ronald Acuna Jr., Max Fried, and the aforementioned, the reigning NL Rookie of the Year, Michael Harris II. Let's turn our attention to the amazing Mets. The New York Mets come in with an overall team rating at 6th, first in contact, first in pitching, power inside the top 20, also inside the top 20 in defense, towards the bottom in speed. But when you got someone like the polar bear, Pete Alonso, who can hit you a 3-run homer at any time, maybe you can be a little bit deficient in the speed area. Let's bring in Mets pitcher David Peterson now for a little bit more. David, overall rating for your New York Mets, 6th overall. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good start. You know, I think hopefully the goal is to be sitting at that #1 rank at the end of the year. But yeah, we'll take 6 to start.
Hey, I want to go through a couple of individual ratings for a handful of your teammates, starting with your brand new teammate, Justin Verlander. He has an overall rating of 98, pitching clutch rating checking in at 87, and hits per 9 almost in the mid-90s. What have been your impressions so far of being around Justin Verlander?
Yeah, he's been great. Just getting to see why he's been around so long and why he's had so much success has been a lot of fun for me. And yeah, I don't know what's stopping him from being a 99, but I think 98's pretty good. So if he can be a 98 overall for us, I think we're in a really good spot.
Yeah, Met fans loving to see virtual Justin Verlander in those Mets colors. Francisco Lindor, David, overall rating of 98. His contact against lefties is at 75, and his fielding is at 90. What's it like knowing that you have someone like Francisco Lindor behind you defensively when you're on the mound?
Yeah, it's a huge comfort. And whenever there's a ball on that left side of the infield, I know he's going to be somewhere in the area, if not all over it. And it's been a joy to play with him the last couple of years. And having a guy like that at shortstop behind you is just, it's fun as a pitcher.
And he's certainly got pop from both sides of the plate and doing it with the glove as well in the middle of the diamond. I want to turn our attention to a young player, David. Francisco Alvarez, highly touted prospect. The young catcher has an overall rating of 72. Power against lefties hovering around 70 at 68. As I mentioned, he's a young player. What is that learning curve like for young players that are catchers? What is that like for you as a pitcher? How does that work?
Yeah, I think that catchers have a tough job, especially as a young kid like him, prospect, a lot of eyes and attention on him. But, he comes in every day and he works really hard. And being able to, obviously, we've seen what he has to do with the bat. And he's got a highlight reel that goes on forever at the plate. And, I think balancing that and getting to face major league pitching and kind of take that on, as well as take on commanding a pitching staff and learning all the guys and what makes them tick and what makes them go. So he's got a tall task, but with his work ethic and the way he goes about his business, I think he's going to have an all right job.
Your team has 4 players that are at least ranked at number 90 or better. We touched on Justin Verlander. He's got an overall rating of 98. Max Scherzer right behind him at 96. And then Edwin Diaz, David, at 92. What a season he had. What's it like watching him do his work on the mound? First of all, the entrance is unbelievable when he comes in at home. But what's it like to watch him work?
It's incredible to watch him pitch. I think what he did last year, and we've seen it in the past from him. This isn't like it was something what surprised everybody. He's done it before, and just to watch how dominant he was last year and see the splits in his numbers and just watching him out there every night that he was given the ball, and you kind of know how it's going to go, and you're just kind of strapping in for the show and getting ready to watch a really good pitcher go out in there and just close the door and shut guys down 1 through 9 in the lineup. Doesn't matter where it's at. You could have your best hitters coming up, and I think everybody on our side has a lot of confidence in Sugar, and I think he's got a lot of confidence in himself to be able to do the job. And so I think that's a huge part of his success.
David, before we get you out of here, I want to get your thoughts on your overall rating. Do you want to take a guess?
Geez, I've got no clue, to be honest.
All right, your overall 78. Slider control is at 78 as well. Circle change control rating is at 83. And your sinker break is at 90. How does that sound?
That's pretty good. I'll take it. Yeah.
Do you ever get a chance to check out your virtual self, or do you hear from friends or family that use virtual David Peterson during the course of the life of the game?
Yeah, it's always fun to get on there and play with your character, and then hearing from guys, whether it's teammates, former teammates, they're matched up against somebody, and either they're facing me or they have me on their team. And so it's fun to see that connection of our game in a virtual space, and as well as relating it to on the field.
Well, David, we appreciate you spending a little time with us. Good luck this season. Enjoy the rest of spring training, and we look forward to chatting with you sometime down the road.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Let's stay in the National League East and continue our discussion. And let's talk about the defending National League champion Philadelphia Phillies. And who better to discuss the Phillies than former Philly Hunter Pence. Hunter, let's talk about this defending National League championship club here. They are in the top 10 in 4 different categories. 8th overall, 6th in pitching, 4th in defense, 7th in contact. Just your overall impressions of the Philadelphia Phillies going into 23.
Look, I think, obviously, I think the Phillies are a little bit kind of underrated as far as that's concerned, because if you're asking me, this Phillies team was strong late. They got a lot better. I think there's a lot of things that you could look to improve this season, but they also added one of the best players in free agency in Trey Turner, who is somehow flying way under the radar. So you can't tell me that the Philadelphia Phillies, who played so strong in the second half, who got so good late in the playoffs, are not expected to be going back again this year. For me, adding Trey Turner really makes the Phillies somewhat of a favorite to win the National League, and they're going to be someone, obviously the NL East is extraordinarily powerful. The Mets and the Braves, it's going to be so fun to watch. But I think the Phillies are the team to beat.
All right, speaking of Trey Turner, he was asked to guess what his rating would be, and then he reacted to what it is. Check this out.
I don't know. I feel like last year I was 89 or 90. I want to say, moving on up.
Yeah, moving on up indeed. And Hunter, you saw him holding that trophy there, indication or indicative of his spot in the Diamond Club. You mentioned Trey Turner. What kind of impact can he have on what is already a very talented team?
Look, Trey Turner is an MVP candidate right out of the chute, and he's a top 5 candidate for sure. And that's to add into the Bryce Harper, who, if stays healthy, has been one of the best players in all of baseball the last 3 years for sure, and just really kind of tuned into his prime right now. Elite at bats over and over. Hopefully, you see a healthy Bryce Harper all year. But you add Trey Turner to that lineup, and it's a whole new dynamic. I think Alec Baum as well. I know I'm going off the topic here, but Alec Baum. What he learned last year, I think we're going to see a superstar in the rising. So there's 3 potential MVP candidates, and I'm not even mentioning, the NL home run leader in Kyle Schwarber.
Absolutely. All right, so let's drill down even further on the Philadelphia Phillies. Let's talk about a couple of players individually and their ratings. Aaron Nola, overall, Hunter, 91. The stamina is also plus 90. Walk to strikeout ratio at 91 as well. He's not going to wow you with velocity, Hunter, but, man, he's almost like an artist out there. I love watching him pitch.
Yeah, and Aaron Nola is a movement guy. He's got velocity. He can run up there to 95, but he's working a lot of angles, a lot of movement, a lot of touch and feel and command. And it's 95, which a lot of people are throwing these days, but it's also running 2 feet, and that movement and those angles that he's coming with, how he hides the ball, really extraordinary. I think it's a pretty healthy spot for Aaron Nola to be at. 91, and if I would say that's the fairest. Like, I would give Trey Turner a little bit more. Nola's right where he needs to be.
Absolutely. All right, so let's talk about the top 5 overall players for the Philadelphia Phillies going into 2023. Bryce Harper, of course, topping that list at 95. You got Trey Turner checking in at 92. Aaron Nola slotted 1 spot up behind him at 91, along with Zach Wheeler. JT Realmuto checking in at number 90. Let's bring back Roy McCann, Sony ratings expert here. The category that we're focusing on right now, top 5 platoon-proof players. And Rory, you got a couple of players in this National League East, Jeff McNeil and Trey Turner. Whether it's against lefties or righties, these guys can hit.
Oh, yeah, you said it. Basically, they can hit. This group is full of just players where it doesn't matter where you put them in the lineup. You want to have them first, second in the lineup. And regardless of who the starting pitcher is or what reliever who throws 95 plus with an insane slider that someone 100 years ago would say was sorcery, you can put them up second in the lineup, not have to worry about it because they can hit both righties and lefties. And that list, again, you look at them, they're not just contact hitters. They're also really great with getting extra base hits. They're doubles hitters. They're home run hitters even.
No, I love what you mentioned there, and just the fact that, as I said, it doesn't matter whether it's a lefty or a righty. McNeil and Turner at the top of their respective orders, and of course, Mike Trout, Big Pop, and Bo Bichette as well. All right, Rory, thanks for the insight. Stick around. We're going to continue to bring you in throughout the stream here, keeping it here with our good buddy Kid Mero. Hey, Mero, we've got some feedback from the chat, and this ought to be interesting, so let's see what we got. I don't know what it is, but let's see. Let's see. This one from Green Froppy. They did Cedric Mullins dirty. Let me pull up Cedric's numbers here. Just
he was an 81. He said he was an 84. He ended up being an 81.
Okay. All right.
I mean, listen, yo, let's be real here, guys. Yo, if your favorite guy is not a 95, not a 99, that doesn't mean that they're bad. I think 80 is a very solid rating. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
right.
If I played in the major leagues and I was an 80, I'd be like, yo, I'm doing it.
That's right.
If you're an 80 in MLB The Show, 2016 to 2023 consistently, I think you're going to the Hall of Fame. I think that's like an automatic thing.
Yeah. See, I've been rated, Mero, as a Manhattan 6, and that's like a Houston 8.
Yes.
You know? So, you know, it's okay. All right, some more feedback here coming on this is on YouTube. This one from Robert. It's not me, but he says Rafi Devers should be a 93. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. I just love Rafi Devers' game, especially at the plate, where he does tremendous damage. So, yeah, maybe he was rated a little bit low.
Maybe, you know. But, I mean, I feel like, you know, it has to do also with the team. You know what I mean? If the team is kind of mid or they're not performing well, you know, yeah. I think that impacts your score a little bit. But, again, wouldn't be mad if he was a 93.
Wait, are you calling the Red Sox mid? Did I hear that?
I mean, but that's a compliment. That's a compliment. Coming from me.
I think that's a yes. All right, one more. This one about Francisco Lindor. Greg says, Lindor, 98, dub. Short and to the point. What do you think of Frankie's game?
Yo, he's one of those guys, man, that I've been watching for a long time. I love every time he changes his hair color, he goes up 2 points overall.
That's
you know what I mean? Like, this dude, he's a problem, bro. He's a problem. He's swagged out. Like, I love the dudes that are swagged out. Like, this guy puts the bat on the ball and says something every single time. Like, he says something to somebody. If you watch him, he's talking to people as he's rounding the bases.
Yeah.
Even if he's running, like, if he's trying to leg out a single, he's talking. You know what I mean? I was gonna say a bad word, but you know, this is a family show. But there's a problem, man. And he's got wheels, he's got a bat, and he's got swag, which is very important. That's why Jack is on the cover. He's very drippy.
Yes. So Greg thinks that Lindor should be a 98. Lindor, according to these offline ratings, an 89, just outside 90. All right, let's continue this tour through the National League East. And the Miami Marlins, 19th in pitching. That surprises me. That seems a little bit low for my taste.
Yeah.
But 16th in contact, 20th overall. The reason I say, Mero, that I thought pitching is a little bit low is because you got the reigning and defending National League Cy Young Award winner from the DR, Sandy Alcantara.
Yeah, how do you got Sandy on the team when your pitching is out of the top 15? I don't know, man. I mean, yeah, no, that's a little low. It's a little low. I don't think they're going to make a ton of noise this year. What do I have them? I have them winning 88 games. You know what I'm saying? But
that's still pretty good.
It's pretty good for the Marlins.
Yeah.
I don't know. The pitching is low though. The pitching is low. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that would be like the one, you know, attribute where they would be up there in rating, but.
No, I mean, look. Obviously, it starts with Alcantara at the top, but I think Trevor Rogers is in for a big bounce back season. And Sixto Sanchez, he's lost a lot of weight. He's battled a whole bunch of injuries.
Yes.
Maybe he comes back and has a resurgent 2023. Let's get some reactions, starting with one of the cover athletes for MLB The Show 23, Jazz Chisholm.
My overall rating is a 91. We gotta fix that.
I think my overall rating is 99. 9. You can take 9 and you can live 90.
I love his moxie, Mero. I love it. I mean, Alcantara, the stamina is 99, and that is well-deserved because he's old school when it comes to that kind of thing, and he's hovering around the mid-80s when it comes to hits per 9. But I love his attitude, Mero, and I love the attitude that says, I'm starting this game, and I want to finish it because that's not something that's in vogue as much as it was in years past these days.
Not at all, man. I feel like the game now is like you get to the 5th inning and then you hand the ball over, you know what I mean, to the bullpen, and he's not. You know what I mean? Like, he's just like, yo, put me on and leave me in. I've never seen somebody get mad anytime they have to give up the ball. Like every time it's just like, really? Do I have to come out of the game, bro? Really? Are you sure? I could pitch another 8 innings in the 7th inning.
Yeah.
But yeah, nah, man. Like I like that throwback to I'm gonna pitch a complete game. Rest these guys in the bullpen. I got this, and he's a beast, man. Like I think of him caballo. Like I said,
yeah. He told Jason Stark of The Athletic this year, just last week, that he wants to pitch 250 innings this year. So that's a big number. In fact, a pitcher has not pitched at least 250 innings since Justin Verlander's MVP season in 2011. So that just kind of puts it into context there of just how big of a number that is. Jazz Chisholm, you mentioned earlier about Francisco Lindor, the swag and the drip. Jazz Chisholm's got that for days.
For days, bro. Listen. Also, I just want to say to all the Met fans in the chat, shout out to Keith Hernandez for the other day calling him Chaz Chisholm.
Yeah, that's that's a difficult name to say. You got to put the pause there. You got to have that very important pause. But I love what this guy does on both sides of the plate. Yeah. And look, man, he's talking about not only am I going to go for 30-30 this year, I want to be a 40-40 guy. 40 stolen bases, 40 homers.
He's got the speed and he's got the power to do it. You know, I believe in you, Jazz. You know what I mean? Go get it. You can do it. I don't know if there's some incentive in your contract that's make you go so hard, but I love to hear it. You know what I mean? Like I said, even if you're not my team, I want to be entertained when I watch. So, you know, guys like Jazz, man, they bring it. Like with the bat, with the speed on the bases, and with the swag.
Yeah, you can make the argument that whoever wins this very difficult National League East, a lot of it could depend on how well that particular team does against the Miami Marlins. The Miami Marlins are better than you think, and that pitching staff can certainly lock you up. We're looking at now at cover athlete Jazz Chisholm and Sandy Alcantara showcasing their hardware as being members of the Diamond Club. Sandy Alcantara, of course, the reigning Cy Young Award winner, and Jazz Chisholm, the cover athlete for MLB The Show. Of course, Derek Jeter is the legacy edition, early access edition of MLB The Show 23. Your top 5 rated players for the Miami Marlins, it's Alcantara, it's Jazz Chisholm, Gene Segura, who comes over from the Philadelphia Phillies, now with the Marlins. He's changing positions. He's going to be at third. Trevor Rogers, who I said I think is in for a bounce-back season, he's at 78, and Nick Fortes is at 77. Now, the Washington Nationals, Mero, they are a team right now, a franchise, in a rebuild mode. 30th overall in the league, 30th in pitching. So these numbers aren't going to wow you. But I can tell you, they've got some interesting pieces here, namely Joey Meneses, who spent basically a decade in the minors, Mero, and he finally got his shot last season, and it definitely paid off. Let's hear the reaction to the rating from Joey Meneses.
Maybe 60. I got 84.
84, yes.
Okay, I don't expect that much, but thanks.
Yeah, Joey Meneses is going to be playing for Team Mexico in the upcoming World Baseball Classic. Mexico will play the United States on Sunday in pool play this coming weekend. As I said, Mero, this isn't a team that's going to challenge for a playoff spot, but they got a lot of young players that are trying to make a name for themselves, and Joey Meneses is part of that group.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's what this year is going to be for the Nats. It's like, yo, let's get these young guys up, let's get them some reps, and let's see what we're working with going forward. You know what I mean? Like you said, everything is low 20s up to 30. You know what I mean? So the Nats aren't going to do much this year. I got them winning 52, 53 games, maybe. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like 59 on the high end. But yeah, no, this is just, get the young guys out there, let them get some spin. You know, they got Strasburg.
Yeah, they do. Now, I mean, Strasburg, as you look at his offline ratings here, the slurve break is 99, hits per 9 is at 80. In real baseball terms, we don't have a timeline of when we're going to see Steven Strasburg. He suffered a setback in his rehab earlier this offseason, so we'll have to wait and see what he's going to look like. But there's no doubt, Mero, when in 2019, he and Max Scherzer put those Nats on their backs and led them to the World Series title.
Yeah, they carried, man. They super carried. Listen, the guy, he's Strasburg is that guy, man. He's just a Nat. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see him as anything other than a Washington National. And just keep doing your thing, man. Like, don't slip, I guess.
Yeah.
Do your thing and stay at 82. I also think it's kind of weird that Meneses and Devers got the same rating. Is that crazy?
I thought that was a little strange as well. We might have to revisit that with our ratings expert, Rory, a little bit. But I'm with you, and I know some people in the chat noticed that as well, that Devers and Meneses basically had the same rating. That's no disrespect to Joey Meneses, but I think Rafi Devers is a little bit more of an established player at this point. One of the many young players, Mero, that they got in that Juan Soto deal from the San Diego Padres, C.J. Abrams. I love this young player. I think he's got a chance to be really special. Solid 83 rating in contact against right-handed pitcher and an 83 speed rating. Now, you're not going to see him at the big league level anytime soon, but their top-ranked prospect, James Wood, this guy needs a prospect card at some point during the life of MLB The Show 23. Now, your top 5 rated players for the Nats, Joey Meneses is at 84, Strasburg at 82. Then we get into the mid-70s and below with Lane Thomas at 74, Elijah Green at 72, and Jeimer Candelario at 71.
They were really.
Define your glory. Don your nation's colors from the World Baseball Classic for use in Diamond Dynasty and MLB The Show 23. Hit dingers! World Baseball Classic uniforms and players are coming to Diamond Dynasty.
And joining us now, Stephen Haas from the MLB The Show live team. And as we heard this morning, Stephen, World Baseball Classic coming to MLB The Show 23. It's something fans and the community of this game have been clamoring for. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, it's huge news. Good to see you, Roflo. Thanks for having me. I mean, MLB The Show 23, it's going global. Superstars from around the world, players that our fans have never played with in a video game, and it's going to happen. So let's talk about a few of these. I'm talking Team Japan, like Munetaka Murakami, or Team Korea sending their MVP, Jung-Ho Lee. The hardworking players on the Czech Republic just qualifying for the first time for the tournament. You're going to be able to play with some of those as well. And of course, Major League Baseball superstars for Team USA, Team Dominican Republic, Team Cuba, the list goes on, Roflo, 20 countries.
Yeah, and there's a lot of firepower, and there's obviously some huge names littered throughout this tournament.
Yeah, you're going to be building some unbelievable dream teams with these players and sporting their uniforms. And Roflo, it's going down in your favorite mode.
Yes, Diamond Dynasty is where it is at. Now, how many players are we talking here, Stephen?
Yeah, you got it right. Diamond Dynasty is going to have all the World Baseball content in MLB The Show 23. And listen to this, our live team, we're going to start it with a bang, nearly 100 players near launch. But to set some expectations, not every player you see in the World Baseball Classic will be in Diamond Dynasty, but every country will be represented.
Yeah, more than 100 World Baseball Classic players in Diamond Dynasty, ready for the grind 99, as Ramon likes to say. Now, what do I need to play at launch to start getting some of these players and playing with them?
Oh, I know you do. And March 24th, when early access begins, you can start earning some of these international stars. And a good chunk of them are going to be in programs. We're going to have a World Baseball Classic program. So we're going to have those uniforms. We're going to have players, moments, conquest, and events. Those are all things you can play. I might go single player. But Roflo, I know you like to hop on stream and take on the world, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love taking on the ham and eggers whenever I can get a chance. Hopefully no rage quitters out there. Now, customization is a big part of the game. Can I mix and match with these World Baseball Classic players?
Right. So just like anywhere in Diamond Dynasty, we're going to have legends and flashbacks. More than 180 legends this year in MLB The Show 23. So Babe Ruth, Ken Griffey Jr., Jackie Robinson. And yes, of course, you can mix and match World Baseball Classic players. And customization, it's a big part of Diamond Dynasty. Let's talk about uniforms for a second. So talk to me at launch. What's your strategy? Do you go with a custom uniform? Do you take one of the team uniforms from your favorite squad? What do you do?
Well, normally I like going with the Montreal Expos themed jersey. I think that's nice. One of the I think it's arguably the greatest uniform in the history of Major League Baseball. But from a World Baseball Classic perspective, I like the Team USA uniforms. I like the Netherlands with that orange. And also, Team Mexico has some pretty cool uniforms as well.
And I agree. A lot of them are really cool. So we're going to have 20 home, 20 away World Baseball Classic uniform options for you, 40 in all. You get to choose that. So, yeah, suit up with Team USA, go international, Team Japan. It's really up to you. Along with that, you're going to find 20 bat skins so you can really start color matching the bat skin you have with your uniforms, get some of these World Baseball Classic players as well. Go represent any team you want.
Yeah, I like this. I love this. Players are going to absolutely love it. All right, let's get into some more details here.
Sure.
Tell us about how good some of these players are going to be at launch.
Yeah, I know. We've talked a little bit about this in our feature premieres about more rewards and more 99 overall players in Diamond Dynasty at launch than ever before. And World Baseball Classic is going to be a big part of that. So think about some of these players with max power or some of them that are just throwing crazy velocities. Let's go back to Team Japan. So Murakami, think of max power, 125s possibly. His teammate, Roki Sasaki, he's thrown nearly triple digits. In MLB The Show 23, you might see that outlier quirk, which will pump up to 102, 103 miles per hour on that four-seam fastball. What do you think of that?
Oh, I love it. All right, Steven, tell us about the launch dates.
Yeah, so early access begins March 24th. Look for the Derek Jeter covers. That's a digital deluxe edition or the Captain edition. If you order those, you're playing early with me and Roflo. And also, I want to talk about some of the bonus items in those collector's editions. They had a to-be-announced theme. Well, here we are with the World Baseball Classic reveal. One of them is going to be a Diamond Choice Pack of World Baseball Classic players. The other one is where you're going to find those uniforms, Roflo. You're going to get to choose which uniform you want from the World Baseball Classic. How does that sound?
Oh, I love it. I love it. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how long these players that are available, how long they're going to be in people's lineup. Are they going to be in people's lineup throughout the life of MLB The Show 23. Stephen Haas from the live team. Stick around, Stephen. We're going to check in with you a little bit later, okay?
Sounds great.
All right, once again, you're watching the MLB The Show 23 Ratings Reveal Special brought to you by MLB The Show. I'm Robert Flores from MLB Network. A reminder, MLB Central returns on opening day, 9 a.m. Eastern, right here on MLB Network. Let's continue our ranking reveals for all the teams. Remember, these are offline rankings. Some of you in the chat are a little bit late or a little bit slow. What? Okay. So overall, the Guardians, Mero, are at number 10. So they're inside the top 10 overall. 8th in pitching, 6th in contact, 8th in defense, 2nd in speed, 24th in power. Now, Mero, Guardians and Yankees, they matched up in the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
What do you remember about that series? They had a chance to close you guys out.
They did, and they got hot at the end of the year. You know what I mean? They got hot late, and they are a formidable team. I got them winning the AL Central this year, if we're being real. You know what I mean? Little 88 games. But they got – I was expecting the speed to be up there. They got a bunch of guys that can run, you know what I mean, that can run the base paths. They got the guys that can hit – contact, so the power's where it needs to be because there's not a lot of long ball hitters on that team. But they got some guys, man. They got some guys on that team, bro. Shout out to my guy Richie Palacios, Ramirez. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got some guys over there. They got some guys. So as a Yankee fan and an objective baseball fan, in scare quotes, they're winning the AL Central. They got a strong, solid team over there that's going to be good for a while.
Yeah, of course, they're the reigning and defending AL Central champions. Jose Ramirez is the best. He's the superstar that does not get talked about enough. But he's doing the talking right now. Here's the reaction to his rating.
Yo creo que este año en MLB The Show mi rating es 99.
What did he say?
99.
Overall, 94.
94.
¿Cómo va a ser?
Hey, Hey, you know what, Merrill? Look, this dude's got a case to be a 99, you know?
Yeah.
He is a superstar. It can do everything. You take a look at his ratings here. Power against lefties. Of course, he can do damage on both sides of the plate. But like I said, he's a superstar, Merrill, that does not get talked about enough.
Yo, I don't know why. I don't know. I have a theory on this. Also, the ratings should be, I think, are a little low. I think he's in the 90s with power.
Yeah.
But I think here's my theory, is that he doesn't get talked about a lot because his name is Jose Ramirez, and that's a very regular ass name, bro. That's a regular ass like Latino name. If his name was like Jose Verti or something like that, Wistenberg Ramirez, we might talk about him a little more.
Yeah.
But his name is very standard. It's like Joe Smith. You know what I mean? Like for Latinos. So maybe that's it. Because the guy's a problem. He's a beast. He hits the cover off the ball. He can do everything. And he looks cool. And he's very Dominican because he refuses to speak English. So shout out to him.
Now, what about this name? Emmanuel Clase, his teammate, who, I mean, he might be the best closer in the game, Mero. This dude is so filthy. Here's the cut velocity on the velocity on his cutter. Over 100. And yeah, that thing comes in hot. Because here's the thing, Mero. If he's on the mound, there's a good chance that the Guardians are leading, and when he's on the mound, it's closing time. You're not coming back against him.
No, he's gonna take, like his last name says, he's gonna take you to school. Te va a llevar a clase, Emmanuel. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is the closest thing I've seen. Forgive me, Yankee gods. The closest thing I've seen to Mariano Rivera. That cutter is filthy. It's his pitch. And like you said, if they're up, he's shutting the door 10 times out of 10. The guy's a beast, man.
Yeah, I know. I ran into a lot of Diamond Dynasty players in online play throughout the season that had his face of the franchise card, and it was just like it was in real life. If he's on the mound, there's a good chance that you're not going to get any hits, except for those of you in the chat. I know you guys are significantly better, and you get homers and perfects all the time. I'm talking about someone mid like me. All right, now, Tristan McKenzie, I think, or let's take a look at the top 5 overall rankings for the Cleveland Guardians, and Tristan McKenzie is on this list. He's at 82. I think he's one of the best young pitchers in the game. Ramirez at 94, Clase at 93, Shane Bieber just outside 90 with 89, and then Andres Jimenez, breakout season for him at 86.
Shout out to Biebs with the 89.
Let's turn our attention to talk about the Chicago White Sox, of course, in the American League Central. Overall, 20th. They are inside the top 10 in contact, 17th in power, 18th in pitching. And for more on pitching, let's bring in White Sox pitcher Lucas Giolito, who joins us now. Lucas, I remember as of maybe a couple of years ago, you would play MLB The Show 20 a couple of days before your start. Is that something that you've continued to do?
Yeah, it's still part of my routine for sure. I like to play the game. It's like the best baseball sim out there, right? So I like to play the game and go over my scouting report, kind of like see myself executing pitches, even though obviously it's not reality. It's the closest thing I can get the night before I play. So it's a good way to kind of go over like all the hitters' tendencies and everything, and then how I'm kind of try and attack them.
I like that. I like that. Now, you and I once went head to head on MLB The Show, and I don't seem to recall what happened.
I don't think it went too well for you.
Yeah, it didn't turn out too well. It did not turn out too well. Hey, let's go through a couple of your teammates' individual rankings, starting with Dylan Cease. Overall, 89. His stamina is 84. Pitching clutch, 99. Lucas, he seemed to take another step last year.
Yeah, big time step for him. Obviously, second place in Cy Young. One of probably the best slider in the big leagues. I'd say best slider in the big leagues out of a starting pitcher. He'd go out there, throw that thing over 50% of the time. No one could touch it. And obviously, he's just got like all the tools. Super high velocity, carry on his fastball. Like I said, the slider, the curveball is, I think, slept on sometimes. It is an elite pitch. And then he's been working on a changeup a lot here in camp too. So he's one of the best right now.
Yeah, just outside 90 overall at checking in at 89. And then Luis Robert has maybe the best nickname in all of baseball, La Pantera. The Panther, Lucas, overall an 82. Contact against lefties, 99, and the power is at 82. This guy is an elite athlete, Lucas.
Yeah. I think that we're just beginning to scratch the surface with how good Luis is. 82 overall, it's respectable, but I think that after this year, he's going to be in that diamond category.
All right, definitely something to keep in mind. And lastly, Michael Kopech, part of your rotation mate, overall at 81. His slider break is at 84. When he's right, what makes him special?
So he's got like a unicorn type of fastball, and that's the one thing about this game, MLB The Show. It's that riding four-seam fastball, especially the way he throws it from that approach angle. I'm wondering if maybe in the future they'll be able to capture that more, because you probably know better than anyone the metas for pitching.
Yeah.
In MLB The Show, sinker cutter, right?
Yep.
It's all sinker cutter. Four seam doesn't really work. But Michael's got one of those unicorn style four seam fastballs. It's got that like tail ride. And when that's working and then he can tunnel his slider off of that, it's over.
I like that. Maybe it's going to be interesting to see, as you said, how things evolve over the years as this game continues to improve. And as you take a look at the top 5 overall players for your team, we mentioned Dylan Cease. Liam Hendriks is at 84. We certainly give our best wishes to Liam Hendriks, Luis Robert, and then Michael Kopech. Lucas, tell us a little bit about Lance Lynn. What is he like as a competitor? What is he like as a teammate?
Lance is one of the best, man. I love him to death. He is like the quintessential leader of a pitching staff. Took us all, we're all younger than him. Took us all under his wing ever since he arrived. And, he takes care of us, talks to us about anything. And he obviously is, in my opinion, one of the best, manipulators of the ball that I've ever seen from a pitcher.
Lucas, we'll get you out of here on this one. Your overall rating is at 76. You and I spoke earlier this offseason. You said you were trying and working on some new things. How do you feel about where you're at this stage of the offseason?
I definitely feel better than a 76. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I'm coming off of a very down year. So I had a lot of stuff to work on in the off season, and I took care of it about as best as I possibly could. A lot of work on my mechanics and my body. I'm feeling a lot better coming into this season versus last season. I like how the ball's coming out of my hand. Just continue to build here in spring and then go out and have a good year. That's what it's all about. Well, Lucas, we appreciate the time, man. You're one of the best. Thanks for the time, and we'll talk to you soon. Appreciate it, Roflo. See ya. All right, let's bring Roy McCann, our Sony's ratings expert, for his reaction. Roy, you heard Lucas, particularly his comments about Michael Kopech and how maybe his fastball can't really be evaluated or appreciated yet in MLB The Show 23. What was your take on that? Yeah, I mean, we certainly try our best to really give it its life. I'm pretty sure he has a high break rating on the fastball. It's tough for any, head-to-head competition when a fastball, even with the amount of movement that it can get, it's still not much. So if you have those quick reactions, it's easy to react to it. But when it's up in those upper 90s for a four-seam, or if it even has outlier on it and goes up to 102, you start seeing, oh yeah, I cannot hit this, Yeah. And as for, sinker cutter, you're throwing something that, the hard sinker's coming to be really popular in Major League Baseball right now. The seam shifted wake movement's going on where everybody's realizing, okay, if you hold the ball this way and you're practicing everything to get it the most movement as possible while also going hard velocity on those. The cutters as well, as long as you have something that looks like it's coming fast and then out of nowhere, slows down on you maybe or just breaks away, it's really tough to react to. Hitters will tell you the same thing in real life. And, we try to do our best to replicate that in the game. All right, good stuff, Roy. You stick around. We got more with our ratings expert
throughout this stream. Let's say hello to Ramon Russell. He's the Product Development, Communications, and Brand Strategist at Sony San Diego, and he joins us now. Ramon, this is a big year for the game. Release is on March 28th, early access March 24th, and I know a big part of one of the new elements of the game is the partnership and the involvement of the Negro Leagues. We've seen the trailer. We've seen some of the elements of this year's game. I think it's a home run, no pun intended. Just tell us a little bit about what it means to you and everyone else there at Sony to have the Negro Leagues a part of this year's game.
Yeah, it's a very special product. It's something that we've been working on, almost 2 years now. And it all started with, it was time to introduce the Negro Leagues into MLB The Show, and we really needed to figure out an interactive and fun and engaging way to do it. And that all started with our partnership with Bob Kendrick and the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, because this entire project is really about bringing more awareness to the museum, these players, these stories, and Bob Kendrick.
Yeah, and Ramon, obviously people are very aware of Jackie Robinson and his breaking the color barrier in the major leagues, but he starred in the Negro Leagues before that, and he wasn't the only one. I mean, I feel like this mode is going to give us a chance to hear about all the other great Negro League players that maybe history has overlooked.
100%. Bob is going to tell you so many amazing stories, not just about Jackie Robinson. You're also going to learn about things that you might not have known about Jackie Robinson. Baseball wasn't his best sport. He was a four-sport athlete. You're going to learn about Buck O'Neil. Most people might not know who Buck O'Neil is. You're going to learn about the great Martin DeHigo, who might have been the best baseball player ever, someone who played all 9 positions and is in 5 different baseball Hall of Fames. And that's what we're really trying to do here, is tell these stories in a new and engaging way to a younger audience who plays video games, because, that's where the young people are right now.
Yeah, and one of those gentlemen over your shoulder, Rube Foster, he's one of the important figures in the history of the Negro Leagues and a fascinating story in his own right.
Yes, indeed. Rube Foster created the Negro Leagues, in Kansas City, Missouri, at the Paseo YMCA in 1920. And, unfortunately, the Negro Leagues needed to exist because, black men and women were excluded from playing in Major League Baseball. And it's really a story about the American spirit and triumph over adversity. You won't let me play with you? Fine, I'll create a league of my own.
Hey, lastly, Ramon, what should Diamond Dynasty players, or just players in general, the MLB The Show 23, what should they know about the Negro Leagues and the mode, and is it something that they want to fire up day one?
This is definitely a mode that you're going to want to play. It's a brand new experience, and it's called Storylines for a reason, because you're going to learn about these players. And to be able to use them, outside of storylines, you have to learn a little bit about them and play through their storylines, which is really amazing. You've seen some of the videos and some of the gameplay, so we're so excited and can't wait for everybody to try this new mode out.
Now, as I said, I think it's great. Pretty much the entire community just can't wait to see this mode unveiled when the game is released March 28th. Of course, early access March 24th. Great stuff, Ramon. I know how much this project has meant to you. I know how much you and your team have worked on this project. So congratulations, and I can't wait to play it.
Thank you so much, Robert. It's good to talk to you.
You too, man. All right, let's continue our ratings reveal, and let's jump back into the American League Central. The Minnesota Twins, they have an overall ranking of 13th. 16th in pitching, 4th in defense. Of course, the re-signing of Carlos Correa up the middle will definitely help that defense. Inside the top 10 in power, speed near the bottom at 25, and 14th in contact. Let's bring back Marrow, the kid Marrow. What do you think of the Minnesota Twins? They're a team that is starved, not just for a championship, they're starved for a playoff win, man.
Yeah, sad to say. I mean, like, as a Yankee fan, they often, in the wild card, they are often the victims of Yankee success. But to me, the Twins' biggest thing is health. If these guys can stay, Carlos stays on the field, the other guys stay on the field, they got a chance to make a run. You know what I mean? And make some noise in the Central Division. But that's really it. Like, it's guys. They always say the best ability is availability, and if these guys are available and are playing up to their standards, they'll be all right. The Twins will be all right. Maybe they'll get a playoff dub. Maybe.
Yeah, no, their numbers when Byron Buxton plays, their record when he plays as opposed to when he does not, I mean, it's a thing. It is a real thing. He is so important to them and their lineup. Speaking of Byron Buxton, here's his reaction to his rating.
I think my overall player rating is 92. Oh, quite sick. I was closer. Yeah. Closer than I was last year. Low-key, I was going to say like 87. Speed was down a little bit this year. My power versus right-handed pitching is, it's the only thing I hit last year. Got to be close to at least, got to be like 91.
It's actually 99.
I like that one. I like that one a lot.
Barrow, he undersold himself a little bit. These are big numbers.
Yo, they're nuts. But like, you know what I mean? Like I was saying, like if he's a 90s guy, he's a mid to high 90s guy. If he stays on the field, he's hurt all the time. I'm just like, bro, I see this guy in the dugout more than I see him on the field. Unfortunately, because I would like to see him play because the dude is a stud. You know what I mean? And like again, if he's healthy, if Byron's healthy, if Carlos is healthy, the Twins are scary. But you know, it all depends on them. You know, these guys are stars, bro, stars. Especially, but and I was surprised I didn't see Buxton in the top 5 steals thing that we did earlier.
Yeah, that's a great point. Look, he's got the tools and the ability to do all of that. Shout out to friend of the community, Thuney, who is a big Minnesota Twins fan. Hopefully he's here in the chat. Carlos Correa, unexpectedly re-signing with the Minnesota Twins. You look at his numbers, 85 contact against lefties, and he's got one of the strongest arms in the infield at 95. Hey, Merrill, there was a good chance that he was not going to be with the Minnesota Twins this year.
Bro, he was just running around teasing everybody in the offseason, man. Like the Mets thought they had him. San Francisco thought they had him, along with Arson Judge. Didn't happen. You know what I mean? But here he is, back with the Twins. The ankle is a mystery. Like, I don't know what the deal is with the ankle. His doctor must work for the CIA or something. I don't know. But if the ankle's lit, then he's lit. Like, 100%.
Yeah. Pablo Lopez, recently acquired by the Minnesota Twins. The acquisition of Pablo Lopez, it's controversial for me. It comes at a heavy price because you give up Luis Arraez. But there's no doubt Pablo Lopez had a very, very good first half of the season. Second half, after the All-Star break, wasn't quite where he wanted. But 86 control, 82 stamina for Pablo Lopez, 81 overall for the new Twins starter. So rounding out their top 5 rated players, Byron Buxton is sitting at the top with a rating of 93. Carlos Correa behind him at 89. Johan Duran, who is a filthy, filthy relief pitcher. He's got some exploding stuff at the back end of the bullpen. Joe Ryan is at 83. He made some strides last year as a young pitcher for the Minnesota Twins, and the aforementioned Pablo Lopez. Speaking of Johan Duran, he's on this list. Top 5, blink and you'll miss it. Fastest pitches. Duran almost at 101 miles per hour. Jordan Hicks, shout out to the Houston area, almost at 101 as well. Andres Munoz, Emmanuel Clase, and Aroldis Chapman now applying his trade for the Kansas City Royals. Let's bring back in Rory McCann, our ratings expert over at Sony. Rory, just give us a big picture overview how these, how are these pitches and pitchers are evaluated? How are they worked through your process?
Yeah, so really what we're looking at is kind of where their average velocity is on pitches, but we're also looking at, where do they top out at? Like you look at Duran and he hits 103 sometimes. You look at Jordan Hicks, hits 100 with his fastball, also hits, 100, 101 with his sinker. Andres Munoz, will consistently hit 101, 102. And so what you'll notice with, pretty much all of these guys, they'll have outlier. Duran has it on his fastball and his splinker that we have in the game. He was the first pitcher we ever put outlier on an off-speed pitch or something that, we didn't ever expect to even hit the cap for velocity. And then Andres Munoz, he was one of my favorites when I saw him playing for the Padres back in his rookie year in 2019. And when they traded him You know, it was a little sad for me. But the funny thing with him is he throws 103, but yet uses his slider more than double.
Yes.
Or almost double his fastball, which is ridiculous to me, you know?
Yeah, Munoz is currently dealing with a foot injury, but the Mariners are hopeful that he'll be ready for opening day. Good stuff, Rory. Hang tight.
Thank you.
To talk about the Detroit Tigers, pleased to be joined by my MLB Network colleague, Cameron Maben, longtime former Major Leaguer. You're going to be doing work with the Tigers in their TV and radio broadcasts this year.
It should be fun, you know, coming full circle, going back where it all started. I'm excited to cover the Tigers this year.
Yeah, let's talk about this team as a whole. Obviously, this is a franchise right now in a bit of a transition period. Last year of Miguel Cabrera before he seemingly says goodbye and hangs them up. But when you look at the overall team ratings, overall they're ranked 27th. Speed is 10th. But as you said, this is a team that's looking towards the future in a lot of respects.
Absolutely, and I think when you look at AJ Hinch at the helm, you have guys like George Lombard, you know, on his bench. You know, you're setting the culture, you're building a foundation. And I think, you know, Javi Baez, the Meadows brothers now there, you know, Riley Green. You have some young pieces that you are excited about, and I think the fans should be excited about because they're going to get an opportunity to show what they have in a learning kind of curve experience this year.
Hey, and you know what? If you're playing against a buddy or someone, and you're significantly better, maybe you challenge yourself and you pick the Tigers.
Or listen, if you're good at games like I am, you know, I consider myself a sports gamer, you know, whether it's Madden, NBA 2K, MLB The Show. For me, I like to challenge myself. And if you're a Detroit Tigers fan, you don't care about the rankings. You want to go play with Riley Green. You want to go, you know, swing it with Eric Haas and try to go deep. So it's a challenge, but I think it's all about, you know, fandom and who you love and who you root for. And that's how you kind of go about picking your squad.
All right, Matt Vierling was acquired by the Tigers in a deal with the Philadelphia Phillies this offseason. He was asked to guess his rating. Check this out.
My overall rating, I'll go, let's do 78. 67? Oh, Jesus. Okay, that's not very good. No. I gotta be better than that. Okay. Overall speed. I'll go 92.
You're exactly correct.
92?
92 speed rating, yes.
All right, pretty good.
I love the disappointment. I mean, I chuckle at his disappointment. And you said, hey, I've been there, right?
Listen, I've been there before. As players, we always think we're better than we are when it comes to the video game. We always think, you're like, hey, I'm a 95. What are they thinking? And then you get the sad news that you're way below your expectations. But the beauty of this game is you can get your rating up through the season. You can come out, you can ball out, and as the season goes and as you go, you slowly start to see that ranking climb up. But listen, to Matt's perspective, 92 contact against lefties.
That's pretty good.
92 speed. You got to start somewhere, and that's a good floor to start at. So it's only up for Matt, I think, looking forward.
Javi Baez is about to embark on his second season with the Detroit Tigers. Cam, he is an overall 75 player. Contact against lefties, very good at 81. Power against lefty is at 69. Are you expecting a bounce-back season for Javi this year?
Yeah, I really am. Javi Baez is probably one of the most talented players that I've played with, probably the best instincts that I've ever seen on the baseball field. I think, you know, first year, new contract, you want to do so much. And I think the dimensions in Detroit will help him out a lot more. You know, they brought those fences in, so I think you'll see his average go back up, his power numbers go back up. And I think he wants to, you know, have a good year, being that this is Miggy's last year. You want to send Miggy off on the right note, so I expect Javi to come back stronger than ever.
He's at 75. Coming in at 77 overall is Jonathan Scope, the veteran.
Yeah, I like that for Scopey. You know, he's steady Eddie. This is a guy who every year he comes out, you know what you're going to get. He's going to be a guy that man second base extremely well. You know, he's going to hit you 20-plus homers, 20-plus extra base hits. This is what he does. So 78, you know, for me, it's a little low. He's done so much in the game. You know, I want a little bit of extra love for guys who've been there, done it.
Okay.
So it's a little low, but, you know, he's going to be okay.
Hey, that 94 fielding is very, very good. Also can give you some positional flexibility as well. All right, so as we talk about the top 5 overall players for the Tigers, 3 of them are pitching. Tarek Skubal, who is expected to return at some point this year. Michael Lorenzen, and Spencer Turnbull, who is at 79. He's also coming back from an injury. Eric Haas checking in at 77. He does have sneaky pop, right?
Pop. I played with this guy in Cleveland, in the Cleveland Guardians organization. And Eric Haas is a ball player. I always say his position, ball player.
Yeah.
This dude can do a little bit of everything. Sneaky fast, can run. He can play left field. So his positional versatility is off the charts. Tariq Skubal, a guy that I say looks like a young Cliff Lee when he's healthy. So this is a guy who I love that rating as well. He just has to get healthy and get on the field. But, I like it. If I'm a Tigers fan, if I'm a Tigers player, I'm okay with that right there to start the season off, especially when you look at the expectations of the team. You know what? We can go up from there.
Absolutely. I love their manager and A.J. Hinch, and hopefully it won't be too much longer before they see the Detroit Tigers challenging for a playoff spot in 23. Cam Maben, thanks for the time, man.
Appreciate it.
Staying in the American League Central, the Kansas City Royals, they finished last in this division. They've had at least 95 losses in 3 of their last 4 full seasons. You look at the overall rankings here, 13th in defense, 3rd in speed. So they do got some young players. Bobby Witt Jr. can certainly steal a base or 2 or maybe even 20. But Mero, Salvador Perez, first of all, he's one of the best catchers of his generation, and he always smells great. He smells great.
What? What does he smell like?
He smells like lavender and extra base hits. That's just a nice little combination of the two there.
Nice, man. Yeah, like shout out to Bobby Witt, shout out to Salvador. I think that's all I have to say about the Royals, man. I feel like they're very mid, no shots. Hopefully.
Yeah,
I don't know.
you see the numbers here for Salvador Perez. He can mash against lefties with that 92 power, and power against righties 10 spots below at 82. But this is a team that is building towards the future, and 2 potential cornerstones of the rebuild, Bobby Witt Jr., MJ Melendez. Here's their reaction.
I'd say like a 83. Close. We'll be up there.
Yep, room to improve.
No doubt.
What do you think your speed rating will be overall?
Hoping it's pretty good. 96.
What if I told you it was a 99?
Nice. We like that.
Oh, God. What I think it is, maybe like a 78. I don't know. Yikes.
You like it?
No, I would want it to be better, but it's okay. In due time.
What do you think your arm rating is?
91.
Ooh, close. 90.
Ooh. All right. That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
So MJ Melendez, that 90 overall, the rating for the arm. He had an OPS of 839 against left-handed pitching last season. Yeah. His rating is at 80 against lefties. He can play both behind the plate and the outfield, so that's a nice trait to have. Bobby Witt Jr., Merrill, finished 4th in the AL Rookie of the Year voting in 2022. And get this, Merrill, he's the first rookie to have at least 20 homers and at least 30 stolen bases since Mike Trout in 2012. Anytime you can be put on a graphic or mentioned along with Mike Trout, that's a good thing.
Yeah, man. Mike Trout is like a robot that was built to play baseball, dog. If you are in that company, you're in good company. But something that kind of trips me out is the young guys coming in and thinking like, oh, I'm a 99 off rip. Like, it's kind of you got to work your way up, my guys. You know what I mean? It keeps you in the game. You know what I mean? Like you start off as a 67 to 79, whatever. You work your way up.
Yeah, according to a lot of metrics, he's the fastest player in Major League Baseball. So he can hit for power, he can hit for average, and definitely can steal some bases. So top 5 rated players for the Kansas City Royals. The veteran Sal Perez leading this list. You got some young players in Bobby Witt Jr., the very talented pitcher Brady Singer, who's on Team USA for the upcoming World Baseball Classic, Scott Barlow, and then Vinny Ice, Vinny Pasquantino at 76. You're watching MLB The Show 23 Ratings Reveal Special, brought to you by MLB The Show 23. Remember, the game comes out March 28th, early access March 24th. Oh, by the way, I'm going to have a special stream on my Facebook page opening night. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's continue the ratings. Let's go to the National League Central. The St. Louis Cardinals, 9th overall in the league, 17th in pitching, 11th in contact. Merrow, 4th in power, and a big part of that, their corner infielders, the 2 MVP candidates, Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt. I was about to call him Nolan Goldschmidt.
Nolan Goldschmidt. They can do that. They can do the Dragon Ball Z fusion dance and become become the MVP. But yeah, shout to Goldie, shout to Arenado. Like you said, they're the cornerstones of the Cards, man. And as they go, so go the Cards. I think they're gonna have a hell of a season, dog. I got them winning 94 games plus, maybe.
Okay.
And Goldie's gonna have another year, man. I feel it in my plums. I feel it in my plums. It's gonna happen for them, man. These guys are studs, man, and they're just gonna keep wrecking the league.
I say, let the boy watch.
That's right.
That's right. All right. Well, Paul Goldschmidt is the reigning and defending National League MVP. Let's get some rating reaction now, starting with Wilson Contreras.
I hope so. It's 91. Well, I guess I need to get better at it.
You know, Merrow, it's going to take a little bit to get used to seeing Wilson Contreras in Cardinal red as opposed to Chicago blue.
Yep. I mean, listen, he's one of those guys that when they get traded or they switch teams, it's just like, this doesn't feel right. Pero Wilson, he's a very good player, you know, and I think he's going to be better than 83 this year.
He had the best defense in Major League Baseball in 2022 as Rawlings awarded the Cardinals the team Gold Glove. As you take a look at Paul Goldschmidt, the reigning National League MVP award winner. No, that's Wilson Contreras. Sorry, my eyes are bad. This is Paul Goldschmidt.
There we go.
Yeah, I mean, 99 against left, 99 power against lefties. Yeah, these ratings for me, they track. They fit for Paul Goldschmidt.
Oh yeah. No argument here. Like the dude is a machine, he's a beast. 99s. I mean, you can't get better than 99, right? You can't be 103, right? So.
And then we have Dylan Carlson. Now, the St. Louis Cardinals have some interesting options. They've got a lot of young players. It's going to be interesting to see what Jordan Walker does, what they do with him coming out of spring training. He's one of the best young prospects in all of baseball. But Dylan Carlson, take a look at him. Contacts against lefties, 97. Arm strength is at 83. As last year he hit just 8 home runs. He did have 100 OPS plus in 128 games in 2022, a 323 average, slug just 502 against lefties. Your top 5 rated players for the Cardinals look like this: Goldschmidt, Arenado, Ryan Helsley, Hellboy at the back end of that bullpen. Tommy Edman, so versatile, can beat you in so many ways. He's in the middle of that infield. And then Wilson Contreras, the brand new St. Louis Cardinal behind the plate. Hey, is Rory still up? Rory, can you hear me? Do we got a shot of Rory? Okay. Hey, Rory, someone in the chat had an interesting question. Imagine that. Love you guys. The St. Louis Cardinals, as I mentioned, they were awarded the team Gold Glove as having the best defense, but yet their defensive rating maybe wasn't indicative of the team Gold Glove. What's your answer to that?
Well, you know, the way that the team overall rating just in the game works is taking every single player combined and kind of putting it on that sort of scale rather than, you know, looking at it as like combined of, you know, how productive they all were. So you might see, you know, Tommy Edman really high rating.
Okay.
Nolan Arenado really high rating. Goldschmidt's pretty good at first base, and they have a lot of good pieces. But then there are also the pieces where, you know, they might be weak in certain positions and the depth isn't quite there with their fielding ratings. So what you'll see with the team, like defensive overall rating, it might drop because of those things. But when you look at it as like, oh, well, they're starting 9,
right,
that might get you, you know, the really high top 5, maybe even top 2 rating, but with taking into account the whole roster, that's where they kind of drop down a little bit.
Okay, appreciate that that little bit of clarification there. Now from Wilson Contreras' St. Louis Cardinals to his brother William Contreras, Milwaukee Brewers. Overall rankings for the Milwaukee Brewers look like this: 17th overall, 15th in pitching. That might be a little low for my taste. I love the top two. And don't forget fastball Freddie Peralta. 5th in power, 13th overall in speed as the Milwaukee Brewers. This is a tough division here, Merrill. I mean, the St. Louis Cardinals probably considered the favorite at this stage, but don't sleep on the Chicago Cubs. They're going to be better than maybe some people think. And the Milwaukee Brewers, they certainly can win a lot of games too.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, the Cards are like, up there, like you said, de facto first place, but I wouldn't sleep on the Cubs at all. Like, I think the Cubs, depending on how the season shakes out, injuries and all that stuff come into play. I think the Cubs could mess around and win the division. But yeah, no, it's stiff competition, man. Like, it's not a walk in the park division like other divisions. I'm not gonna say which one.
Especially when teams have to face the likes of Corbin Burns, the right-handed flamethrower for the Milwaukee Brewers. We got a reaction video to his rating from Corbin Burns.
I think my MLB The Show overall rating is 94. Almost hit it on the money. You people are too nice to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's about right. His hits per 9 in the high 80s. Strikeouts per 9 is at 80. Obviously I love what Burns does at the top of the rotation. You got Brandon Woodruff. Freddie Peralta missed some time last year, so he's expected back. So that's a pretty devastating trio. Merrill, I think it just speaks to the larger issue of when you look at stuff of guys that Corbin Burns is throwing out there on a nightly basis. I don't know how people get hits. I don't know how these guys hit what's coming at them.
Listen, I hope, or I mean, I don't hope because I want the guy to be successful, but I hope the pitch clock does something because this guy just throws straight meteors over the plate. And like you said, man, I don't see... This guy's a W, man. Like, he's starting, it's just like ready to, scratch a W in your little column.
Yeah.
This dude's a problem. So, let's see. Hopefully the rest of the team is not... It just elevates their game, you know what I mean? To meet his level of play. So, have some success.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's check out Garrett Mitchell. Let's get his reaction to his rating. Oh, no, we're just talking. Okay, no reaction here from Garrett Mitchell. Here we go. Arm is at 91. We're going to keep it going here. 99 speed for Garrett Mitchell. And, with the rule changes, the bigger bases, maybe he's a guy that can take advantage of stealing some bases and be a demon on the base path. Devin Williams, back end of the bullpen. He's one of the best pitchers, one of the best closers in the game. His changeup, Merrill, that is a pitch that definitely translates in the game. If you're facing Devin Williams at MLB The Show, you got to be ready for that changeup. But he can also rush it up there mid to high 90s as well.
Yeah, he's the guy that's going to make you do the little Looney Tunes swing and just like contort your entire top half of your body with the off-speed stuff. And yeah, nah, man, 99. Like I would have wrote that in myself if I was one of the devs for this game because the guy's a beast.
All right, so let's take a look at the top 5 overall players for the Milwaukee Brewers. Remember, these are offline rankings here. This is not Diamond Dynasty or online rankings. Corbin Burns is the top of the list at 95. Brendan Woodruff right behind him at 88. Freddie Peralta, Devin Williams, and Willy Adames, who has really turned his career around and emerged as a star since coming over from the Tampa Bay Rays. Speaking of punch-outs and high octane and strikeouts, Devin Williams is at the top, near the top of this list here for the top 5 punch-out patrol. These are the guys with the high rankings and the high ratings when it comes to Ks per 9. Let's bring back Rory. Rory, James Karinchak is at the among the top of the list here with a 99 overall.
Yeah, Karinchak, we love him here in the studio. Even using him in MLB The Show, it's fun seeing just his way over the top delivery and the way you can play off of it with the four-seam fastball and the curveball. Then you go down the list. Devin Williams, the changeup is so nasty. We were like, well, I guess we call it a screwball, you know? Like that, nobody has thrown something similar to it in recent memory that's like, yeah, it has that exact same movement. And like you said, he can also get it up there 95, 96 miles an hour. Edwin Diaz, I mean, he you know, might be the best closer in baseball, if not top 2. And then you look, Josh Hader right behind him, another great closer. You know, had a little rough spot last year, but if you take that out, he was one of the most dominant relievers in baseball. Yeah. And, you know, just looking at any of these pitchers, if you can get them in a franchise fantasy draft, trade for them, or just start with, you know, one of these teams to have them, you have a lockdown closer, or at least, you know, a dominant 8th inning, 7th, 8th inning kind of setup, man.
Yeah, you mentioned the rough patch that Josh Hader kind of went through coming over to San Diego, but after that was corrected, he looked like his old self, and certainly going to be a big part of the San Diego Padres bullpen moving forward. All right, let's talk about the Chicago Cubs here. Merrill, you touched on it earlier, that the Cubs, the Cardinals, and the Brewers, teams that really have, you know, a fighting chance of winning this division. 7th overall defensively for the Chicago Cubs, middle of the pack in power and speed, and towards the bottom, 21st overall and 23rd in pitching. The Cubs, Merrill, are one of those signature cornerstone franchises in Major League Baseball. They've got fans all over the country, not just in the Chicago area.
Yeah, they're one of those, like, yo, when we're good, the game is good.
Yeah.
It's one of fan base teams. But yo, those numbers can be misleading, man. Like, yo, these guys, boom, there you go. Dansby Swanson, perfect example. He's one of those guys on the team that, like, can change the whole temperature of that division, man. Like, you know, bottom of the pack with the speed and all that stuff. Doesn't matter. These numbers can be misleading, y'all. It's the eye test. The eye test is telling me the Cubs are a problem in that division, man. I'm just saying, if you're a gambling type of person,
yeah,
might want to put a sneaky bet on the Cubs to win it.
No, I agree with you. I think that they have a chance to be better than a lot of people think. I love the signing for Dansby Swanson. That is a winning player. Cody Bellinger signs a 1-year deal with the Chicago Cubs, hoping to jumpstart his career. Had some problems at the plate towards the end of his tenure with the Los Angeles Dodgers, but you know he's going to play Gold Glove defense either in the outfield or or at first base. You take a look at Cody Bellinger. Hey, Mero, if he can return to his MVP type form, Chicago Cubs, their lineup is dangerous.
Again, like we were saying, man, like this team is sneaky good. They got the opportunity to really blow up, you know what I mean, in this division. And like, if Cody brings, it's depending upon these things, the Cubs will be good. And Cody being good is one of those things.
Absolutely. Christopher Morel is one of their promising young players. He's got a 99 arm in the outfield. He's got a 70 rating of power against right-handed pitchers. Our top 5 overall players for the Chicago Cubs, as we put a bow on their particular ratings. Dansby Swanson is at the top with an 88. Nico Horner, Swanson and Horner, that's a pretty good double play combination. Marcus Stroman on the mound. Jamison Tyone coming over from your New York Yankees, Mero, is at 79, and Patrick Wisdom, the corner infielder, is at 77. The Cincinnati Reds, overall, 25th in pitching, 29th in defense, 25th in contact, 11th in speed, and 26th in power. They're another team, Mero, that's looking, they're in the middle of a rebuild, a reimagining, however you want to term it. But Hunter Green is one of the most electric starters in all of baseball, and he really seemed to take a step towards the end of last season. We've got some reaction from Hunter Green. Check this out.
300. I think my overall rating is 85 on MLB The Show. 80? That's not bad. Okay. I can work with that. We got to go a little higher than that, but it's okay. I got work to do. Keep me humble, lock me in, get that thing up to a 99.
Yeah, you look at the ratings here, Mero. Look, when you're trying to establish or build something, you got to have a frontline starter, and Hunter Green looks like he could be that dude.
He could be that guy. He could be the ace. You know what I mean? But I said it before we threw the video. I was just like, man, free Hunter Green, because I don't know. Do we trust the Reds to put a team around Arthur? I don't know.
I mean, trust has to be earned, Mero. That's that's the way. That's how I would term that. Hey, but look, you can definitely trust me when I say that Joey Votto is a future Hall of Famer. His power against righties is at 92, plate discipline at 96. I don't know if you've ever had a chance to meet Joey Votto, Mero, or had a chance to talk with him, but I think he's one of the most interesting, smart, wise ball players we have going. I could listen to him talk hitting all day.
I mean, he's Joey Votto, man. Like the name, even if you're just a casual baseball fan, you know who Joey Votto is. Yeah. You know what I mean? And he's the sun in the red solar system, dog. Like, if they're gonna build a team, he's got to be. He's not the guy, but he's very much, like you said, future Hall of Famer, wise guy, leader of the clubhouse, all that good stuff. Every sports cliche you could give, Joey Votto's that.
Yeah, he's a big-time chess player, no doubt. So while he represents the present and he's towards the end of his career, Elly De La Cruz could be an emerging star, one of their top prospects, a guy that has tools for days. Contact against righties, 65. The speed is at 90. But this goes to what we were talking about. I mean, right? I mean, they've got to build a team around Hunter Green, and maybe Elly De La Cruz can be a part of that solution. Top 5 rated players for the Cincinnati Reds. Tyler Stevenson is at 81 overall. Hunter Green right behind him. Nick Lodolo, and then Lodolos is at 79. And then Will Myers, acquired in the offseason, the former San Diego Padre and Tampa Bay Ray. He is now with the Cincinnati Reds. Pittsburgh Pirates. They are 27th in pitching, 26th overall. The only category where they're inside the top 20 is at power at 16. And I want to change things up here a little bit here, because I want to bring up O'Neal Cruz, Mero. I'm not sure if he had a chance to watch this young man play last year, but I think he has a chance to be maybe the most unique athlete we've ever seen in Major League Baseball, and I'm including Aaron Judge, and I'm including Shohei Ohtani. This guy is a freak.
1,000,000%. Yo, I'm watching this dude. It's just like, yo, you could probably play any sport you want, O'Neal.
Yeah.
But you chose baseball, so more power to you. The numbers speak for themselves, man. This dude is the Incredible Hulk behind the plate, dog. I've never seen somebody hit the ball so violently, bro. Like, him and Stan have some of the most violent swings I've ever seen in baseball professionally. Like, this dude is out of control. Like, he's a video game player. If I just played the show and I didn't watch baseball in real life, I'd be like, oh, you guys just made him up for this game, because he's that good. He's an alien.
Yeah, I had his Diamond Dynasty card in my lineup for a good portion of last year. Another young, promising player for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Ke'Bryan Hayes. Let's hear from him.
I think my overall player rating is probably around 78, 79. Okay.
And then what do you think your fielding rating is?
It's got to be 99.
Yep.
Yeah.
99.
All right, so take a look at Hayes' ratings. The contact against lefties, very solid, is at 85, and you saw the big smile on his face as he enjoys that 99 fielding rating. Now, there's a lot of possible future young stars in this Pirates roster. There is a big star, especially the former MVP, Andrew McCutchen. He is returning. It's going to be good to see him back in Pittsburgh Pirate colors. You know, it's really just, I think it's a great story, Mero. A guy that, you know, left the Pittsburgh Pirates years ago, but now he's coming back, and I think he's going to play a big, important part for their clubhouse atmosphere and culture moving forward.
Definitely, man, 1,000%. Like, this dude, like you said, former MVP, future Hall of Famer, all-around good guy. You know what I mean? You never heard a bad story about Andrew McCutchen, and now he comes to the clubhouse, and all the young guys can rally around him. His experience, you know what I mean? Like, what he brings to the clubhouse, that's one of those intangible things that you can't really, like, put on a stat sheet, but he's going to bring that. You know what I mean? I feel like he's going to definitely have, like, everybody buying in to what they're doing over there in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, pretty good lefty numbers, or pretty good numbers against lefties with that 93 power against southpaws. Take a look at the top 5 rated players for the Pirates. Brian Reynolds, 84 overall. The closer, David Bednar, is at 81. And then you've got Kutch, O'Neill Cruz, and Ke'Bryan Hayes at 71. Speaking of Ke'Bryan Hayes, he got that 99 fielding, and he's a part of this list here. Top 5, hit it where they ain't. Best fielding among position players, Byron Buxton and Nolan Arenado at the top, along with Hayes, Tommy Edman, and Jose Trevino, the Yankee, behind the plate. Let's bring back in Rory, part of our ratings expert over at Sony. Rory, what should we know about this list? What jumps out at you?
I mean, you know, what jumps out is you have some of the best fielders that the game has ever seen, let alone, you know, just in today. You got Byron Buxton, who in the past 3 years is 4th in defensive runs saved, 9th in outs above average in the MLB. But that's only in 1,268 innings. Like, compared to everybody else, he has at least 800 fewer innings and is still up at the top of those charts. And then comparing Arenado and Hayes, I mean, that's so tough. They are both exceptional greats at what they do. You know, if I had to take a pick of, you know, who might start out higher next year, Ke'Bryan Hayes, his numbers are slightly better, but by no means does that have any disrespect to Nolan Arenado. He is, for a reason, you know, winning every single Gold Glove year after year because he is just elite. And then Tommy Edman, he was able to do it at second base, and then they were like, oh, well, hey, we'll put you at shortstop, and he can play just as well at short. But then you also think about, well, he can also play in the outfield, and he can also play third base. He plays almost every position. So if you have him on your team, you can put him anywhere, and he is going to be just elite. And then Jose Trevino last year, he led MLB in, you know, frame runs, in blocking, and in defensive runs saved. Like, he was just that elite as catcher. You know, you get any of these players, and they will perform just as well as you expect.
Yeah, Trevino, an all-star and a platinum glove winner as well. So he is definitely one of the best behind the plate. Good stuff, Rory. We'll check in with you a little bit later.
Thank you.
As everyone knows, the launch of MLB The Show 23 is right around the corner. Earlier in the stream, we talked about the World Baseball Classic coming to Diamond Dynasty. Let's bring back Stephen Haas from the MLB The Show live team. Stephen, what else is new for Diamond Dynasty fans this year?
Hey, Roflo, I know it's your favorite mode.
Yep.
Me too. And I've got a few reveals for all of our fans who love playing Diamond Dynasty in the next couple minutes here as we talk. But we're going to really focus on team building. So Diamond Dynasty, it's kind of about putting together this dream team. You can play single player games against the computer or go online and go head to head, right? But what's not to love as you earn rewards, rip open baseball card packs, put these players on your team. And this year, we're really focused and doubling down on squad building these theme teams. So I've got a few things I want to talk to you about. Where should we start? We got captains, sets and seasons, and rank co-op.
Well, we know the captain, Derek Jeter, is on the cover of one of the covers that you can get for MLB The Show 22. He's a new legend in the game. But tell us more about captain cards.
Yeah, so it's one of the coolest, freshest new features we have. And captains are hitters and pitchers that can make their teammates in Diamond Dynasty even better on your squad. So let's do a reveal right here, Roflo. We're going to go to the Houston Astros and reveal Jose Altuve is their team captain in the team affinity programs that are returning in MLB The Show 23. So are you going to go after Altuve as your first captain here?
Oh, absolutely. As everyone knows, I'm a huge Astros fan, and everyone needs more Astros in their lineup.
Yeah, exactly. You might. And but again, if for Altuve, he's a captain, right? So what does that mean? You can see at the bottom of the screen there, as you add more Astros hitters, level up Altuve, then the rest of your hitters, they start getting some of these ratings boosts, the contact, the clutch. There are some trade-offs, keep in mind. So in tier 1 and tier 2, when you don't have a full team, you're going to lose some arm strength here. But as you squeeze in maybe 11 Astros, that's when, you know, Altuve is really going to be helpful as a captain. And by the way, 2 of your MLB Network colleagues, Carlos Pena, Jake Peavy, they're also going to be captains. We revealed those. Pretty neat to have them.
Absolutely. They look great. It's going to be cool just to see them walking around the halls of the MLB Network studios. And I tell them that they either performed well or performed poorly for my Diamond Dynasty team. So there's just a couple of the great new legends for this year's game. Now, Stephen, what's the core in set 1 mean at the top of those cards?
Right. Little stickers, top left corner. This is where Diamond Dynasty is changing big time. So about every 6 to 8 weeks, we're going to start a new season and bring in a set of cards, a brand new one. So in some modes, like ranked seasons, those are those 9-inning online head-to-head games, we're going to really focus on building around set 1 or set 2, whatever's out right now, and maybe the last one too. So let's talk about what that means at launch. At launch, every player is eligible, just like always, right? But as the season changes, I think that's where it's going to be more fun, more strategic as you build some of these theme teams around set 1, set 2, and set 3.
Now, I noticed on the Pena and PV cards, they have the core sticker, the core designation, right?
That's right. So while Tuve had set 1, Pena and PV have a core, which means you can use those all year. So, yeah, you can talk to them in the halls and tell them, I've had you on since launch day, Jake or Carlos. And they can carry your team. But eventually, set 1, some of those will get phased out and ranked. Let's say by early summer, you're going to have to move on to set 2 or 3.
But not every mode has these restrictions, right?
That's right. I mean, you and I, we can play versus friends, build our God squads, or take on your Astros, my Marlins, and go with that. Or against the computer. Those are going to be unrestricted as well against versus CPU. But there are some modes. I mentioned ranked. Events have always had theme rules. Mini seasons will have some select themes as well, where certain sets will be eligible. But there's still a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, it's going to be challenging. And I think it keeps the content fresh. And people can just keep unlocking the latest rewards, right?
Absolutely. I mean, Diamond Dynasty, we're going to have more rewards than ever before, especially at launch. And set 1 is going to have a brand new series. Let's do another reveal here, Roflo. Ricky Henderson, a Hall of Famer, 99 overall, is going to be in a brand new series at launch. We've got the card art here. I can't tell you too much more, but pretty nice, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's definitely a card that can fit at the top of a lot of lineups for sure. Now, Diamond Dynasty has this new series, new captain sets and season, and ranked co-op is coming to MLB The Show 23. Tell us more about that.
Right. You and I, we can build our best squads together and go earn ranked rewards for the very first time. So you and I, we can play 2v2 against 2 other people, or let's grab another friend. We can play 3v3 as well. Again, there's so many ways in Diamond Dynasty to play, build your dream squad. And I think there's a lot of new wrinkles this year. So check out our early access stream. That's coming up on March 23rd on the eve of early access. We're going to talk so much more about content and these player rewards.
Absolutely. You and the rest of the live team, keep up the good work, Steven. Thanks for the time. Remember, MLB The Show 23 launches March 28th, but you can pre-order the digital deluxe edition to play 4 days earlier. Thanks for the time, Steven.
All right. See you later.
All right, we're about to begin our final hour. This is an MLB The Show 23 ratings reveal special brought to you by MLB The Show. Heading into our final hour, Robert Flores with you from MLB Network and comedian, writer, producer, the Kid Mero. All right, hey. Mero. We began our first hour with your team. We're going to begin this last hour with my team. Hey, listen up, haters. Like Ric Flair said, you may not like it, but you better learn to love it. The Houston Astros, the reigning and defending World Series champions. Yes, that's right, chat. Love it. Let it wash over you. Let it sink in. Overall, they're ranked 2nd, 4th in pitching, 19th in defense and speed, 5th in power, 3rd in contact. Mero, did you go to any of the ALCS last year? I mean, granted, there were just 2 games at Yankee Stadium because it ended in 4 games, but...
Yeah, you know, I mean, it was cool. Like, it was a cool thing. It was cool. Listen. Shout out to the Astros. I'm going to let you talk, Flo. I'm going to let you have your moment in the sun, all right? Do your thing. Enjoy it. Because, you know, let's talk about Jeremy Pena. Can we talk about Jeremy Pena? Let's talk
because you went into, quote-unquote, enemy territory. You Yankee fan, and you talked with the LCS MVP and World Series MVP, Astros shortstop Jeremy Pena.
Yeah.
We were talking before about video games. You play the show?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And, like, playing as yourself got to be crazy.
That's dope. It's dope.
Do you know what your overall is for 2023?
Nah.
Nah?
Nah.
What do you think it is?
I'm going to go with an 80. 80.
80?
80.
Yo, listen, this whole time we've been talking about, yo, you mad humble. That's very humble, bro, because I would have been like, yo, 99 and a half. 99.8. You were so humble because your actual rating is an 83. And that seems like something that will make people mad. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what? Your man Bregman, we got his reaction to his overall rating.
Where was he at?
Let's see it.
My overall rating, I would guess 92. It's pretty funny.
Is that something that y'all talk about in the clubhouse and stuff? Like, yo, what's your rating? Da-da-da?
Nah, we don't talk about it, but we gotta get that up. We gotta get that up.
You gotta get it up.
We gotta get that up.
All right, here is Bregman's rating. You saw he was not pleased with his 84 overall, but in batting clutch, near 90 at 89. Fielding is at 75. Yeah, I kind of agree with him. He's a little low on fielding for me. Batting clutch, that tracks for me. Hey, let's bring in Rory, our ratings expert. Rory, do you want to respond to Alex Bregman's assertion there?
Alex Bregman is a superstar caliber talent. Unfortunately, like, there were some down years, not down years, but down for his standards. And so with the 3-year average, kind of brings it down. But my favorite part about Diamond Dynasty and what's great about it is throughout the year, we get to be proven wrong by these players. And we're always watching. And when Alex goes off in April and has a great month, you can bet he's going to get his rating raised up. So, it's going to be something we monitor throughout the year, and we try to get everybody's rating exactly where they think they are.
Yeah.
But, sometimes we can't always hit on that, and we'll make sure we'll be watching him throughout the year, make sure we don't make any wrong steps for him.
Absolutely. These guys are competitors, right? And that competitive fire gets stoked a little bit when they don't get the rating that they expect. You mentioned the injuries. He was not himself in 2021. But I feel like maybe after the second or third month of 2022, he started to look like he was rounding into form. Yordan Alvarez is one of the best power hitters in the game. That home run he hit off Alvarez in Game 6 of the World Series. Haters, I don't think that ball has landed. 99 power against righties. Power against lefties, 87. We saw the big homer against Alvarado in Game 6 of the World Series against the Phillies. Merrill, this dude is a beast in the box.
100%, man. The Yankees were the savages in the box. He continues to be a savage in the box. And as not a member of the Yankees, the dude he's very big. Like, he's a dude. He's another one of these dudes that you see in real life and you're like, yo, no wonder you hit so many dingers, bro. You are you're a mammoth, my guy. Man, it's enormous. But yeah, man, I think that, listen, I'm going to be impartial for like 9.5 seconds. The Astros are really, really good, bro. The Astros are really, really good. Allegations aside, the Astros are really, really good. Skill has never been a problem. You know what I mean? I can't believe I'm saying this, bro. I think that they are going to run away with the AL West, man.
Well, look, even as an Astro fan, I might have to give you a little pushback on that, because as we take a look at their overall ratings, this AL West, it's sneakily maybe one of the best divisions in all of baseball. Take a look at the top 5 rated players. Alvarez, Altuve at 93. Kyle Tucker, 90 overall. Framber Valdez is at 87. And then their all-star closer, Ryan Presley, is at 85. This is what I'm talking about, Mero. The Seattle Mariners, they snapped that long playoff drought a year ago. And they have a team that can certainly challenge the Astros. Can they overtake them in the division? I don't know. Maybe. Overall, 11th in pitching, 9th in power, 27th in speed, 21st rating in contact, and 17th in defense. Yeah, I mean, look, I love what they're doing in Seattle, and there's some great fans in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh yeah, for sure. And bro, you got the J-Rod factor, man. Another stud. Where's he from? Where's he?
Who's that?
J-Rod. He's
he's from the DR, right?
Oh yes. That's right. Another exceptional Dominican baseball player. Wow, that's crazy. I had no idea. Like I was very, you know what I'm saying? I was just wondering where the best baseball player came from.
Yeah, he's part of a loaded DR roster in the World Baseball Classic. Let's get some reaction from their individual ratings. including the big dumper Cal Raleigh. We'll hear from him, but let's start with Luis Castillo.
I think my rating is 54. No way. 88?
My overall rating, I believe, is an 81.
80. Too high.
Yeah, Cal Raleigh had a great season, had that big home run to send the Mariners to the playoffs. Look at his numbers here. Power against righties, 94. Of course, he is a switch hitter. I love switch hitting catchers. Shout out to Jorge Posada. 90 fielding as well. And that's why, I mean, he's a big reason why the Seattle Mariners, why their expectations are so high. Luis Castillo, hey, Mero.
Luis.
Hey, the Yankees, if things would have worked out differently, maybe Castillo would have ended up a Yankee instead of a Mariner.
Listen, I don't want to talk about that. It still pains me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I thought the guy's name was Cashman. That means like he spends money, he signs guys, he puts a lot of money. Apparently that was not, that's not the case with this guy. But again, Luis Castillo from
the DR,
La República Dominicana. And with him, the Seattle Mariners are putting together a top 3 in the majors pitching staff, bro.
I think that's a very interesting question because they could be in the conversation with Castillo, Logan Gilbert, George Kirby. They've got a lot of young arms. Here's Logan Gilbert right now. Let's take a look at his numbers. Stamina is at 85. Four-seam fastball control is at 80. But I think Logan Gilbert has a chance to really emerge as one of the best pitchers in the American League, certainly, maybe in all of baseball. And I just love because it starts with pitching, Mero, right? We know that. I mean, you got to have quality starting pitching, and you got to have more than just 5 guys. And Logan Gilbert's a big part of that.
Yeah, no. I mean, like you said, like if your position is solid 1 through 5, you're gonna win a lot of games, bro. And the Mariners have a very, very, very bright future with these guys on deck, man.
All right, let's take a look at the top 5 overall rated players for the Seattle Mariners. J-Rod is at 89. Teoscar Hernandez, acquired from the Blue Jays, right behind him, along with Luis Castillo, Andres Munoz, and the phenomenal A.J. Pollock at 82. Let's talk about the Los Angeles Angels. 11th overall. 11th overall. That's interesting. Okay, 14th in pitching, 10th in contact, inside the top 10 in defense and power, and 26th in speed. Look, everyone, even if you're a Yankee fan or an Astro fan, if you're just a baseball fan, I think we want to see Mike Trout in the playoffs. We've only seen him in the playoffs once. Maybe this is the year that we see him and the Angels back in the playoffs.
Maybe. I mean, I wouldn't hold my breath, but maybe. Also, I feel like, shout out to the addition of WBC in the game because I was thinking the same thing, man. When have I seen Mike Trout in like a high pressure, playoff intensity type of situation? And I'm like, damn, dog, never. You know what I mean? And baseball could use it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The postseason could definitely use Mike Trout and Ohtani throwing heaters in the postseason. But that's entertainment right there.
Absolutely. Let's hear from Taylor Ward. Let's get some reaction on his rating.
I think my overall player rating is 85. 82? Close enough.
Overall player rating for MLB The Show. Whew. Coming off of a stellar 150 batting average, I would have to say overall 47. 70? That's just because they're paying me probably.
Brett Phillips is one of the great dudes in the game. He's also a friend of the game and the community. His numbers: 96 in fielding, 92 in arm. I think knowing Brett, and look, I like Brett a lot. I think some of he just hasn't found the right opportunity for whatever reason. But I'm hoping that with the Angels, he finds a spot where he can really thrive. The aforementioned Taylor Ward, 77 in contact against righties and lefties. So he's going to do, according to these ratings, he's got the same contact against both righty and lefties.
Okay.
Now, who is this? Okay, this is Taylor Ward. We see some gameplay video of Taylor Ward. The other interesting, and there's a couple of layers to this, Hunter Renfroe is now on this team. He's a very good outfielder, Merrill.
Oh, yeah.
Guy with good pop, can drive in a lot of runs. But the other thing is, he's a Mike Trout doppelganger. He looks like Mike Trout. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say Hunter Renfroe is like the Chris Paul thing, but it's just Mike. That's Mike Chilean Seabass right there instead of Mike Trout.
Yeah.
Like it's Mike Tuna. But yeah, goddamn, they look exactly the same. But you said it. He's on the team now, and he's gonna move the needle for the Angels 100%.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at the top 5.
Renfroe.
The top 5 overall players for the Angels. Of course, the 2 big boppers at the top. Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, they're at 99s overall. Hunter Renfroe is at 86, Tyler Anderson, 83, and then a sneaky good pickup in the offseason, Brandon Drury, who had a very, very fine season for both the Reds and the Padres last year. Staying in the American League West, this could be a surprise team. This could be a team that finds their way into the playoffs when it's all said and done. The Texas Rangers, just outside the top 10 at number 14 overall. Jacob deGrom and that pitching staff at 13, 23rd in contact, but 10th in power, 6th in speed. Now, Mero, obviously, you're very familiar with Jacob deGrom, living in the area, and Met fans probably feel a certain type of way about seeing their ace go to the Texas Rangers. But what do you make of Jacob deGrom and how he's going to do with his new team?
Listen, he's going to have a hell of a year. I think the pitching rating would have been like a 19 without deGrom, and adding him instantly jumps you up to low teens. And if I'm a Mets fan, I'm furious right now because I'm not watching any Rangers games. I'm muting deGrom on all social media because he's gonna go out there and throw the hell out the ball, man. He's gonna do his thing. The guy, he's just one of those. He's a certified ace no matter where you put him. And damn, they let him walk, bro. I would have backed up the Brinks truck for this dude, but that's just me.
Well, health has been an issue with him recently, but when he is right, I mean, he may be one of the best pitchers we've ever seen. So it's going to be fascinating to see how he adapts to his new home. They also have some very fine position players, including Nathaniel Lowe, Mr. Mock Turtleneck himself. Here's his reaction to his rating.
Nasty Nate.
81. Hey, that works. That works.
Yeah, take a look at his numbers. Contact against right-handed pitchers is at 79. Contact against lefties is at 92, so a little bit of reverse splits in play here. They have a new manager in Bruce Bochy, Mero. So as I said, the Rangers are part of this American League West that I think is going to be a lot tougher than people realize.
I mean, listen, casual guys are going to say that. I said the Astros are going to run away with it. I'm not necessarily a casual baseball fan, but the Mariners, the Angels, the Rangers, the A's not so much, but those 4 teams, Astros, Mariners, Angels, Rangers, that's going to be a jumble, man, until somebody breaks away from that pack.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the top 5 rated players overall for the Texas Rangers. They obviously have some big-time expectations under Bruce Bochy, the acquisition of Jacob deGrom. They got Marcus Semien and Corey Seager an off-season ago. deGrom and Semien are 1 and 2 in the overall rated players for the Rangers. Friend of the program, Nathaniel Lowe, is at 85, along with the aforementioned Corey Seager. And Adolis Garcia is at 84. Now, top 5 don't run. Best arms among catchers. Christian Bethancourt is at 97. Jorge Alfaro also is at 97. JT Realmuto, Francisco Mejia find themselves firmly in the 90 spot. And Sam Huff is at 92. So let's bring back Rory. Rory, what jumps out at you on this list here?
Yeah, so looking at it, I mean, Christian Bethancourt up at number 1. He was, started out catcher when he came up in 2016, and then, the arm was so strong, they were like, oh, maybe we'll see if he can be a pitcher. And so they tried that out for a little bit and then brought him back to being a catcher. And I mean, he has one of the best arms, one of the most accurate arms One interesting thing with both Bethancourt and Real Muto, while having great arms, we also have the quirk on them, catcher pop time. It's for catchers who, are really quick getting, their pop time from home to second base. So both of them not only have some of the strongest arms, but the pop time is also great. So you can pretty much stop running on both of them if you are going up against them. If you're playing online against either Bethancourt or Real Muto as catchers, just don't bother stealing. You're probably not going to be safe. And then looking at the other names on the list, Alfaro, he's been around quite a few years. One of the strongest arms, you can even put him in the outfield and he'll throw people out at the plate. Francisco Mejia, another just super strong arm. And one of the guys I'm most excited for, Sam Huff. We haven't been able to see him a ton in the majors yet, but we've gotten little glimpses of him the past couple of years, and not only having one of the strongest arms for catchers, but also maybe one of the best power bats at the catcher position once he, gets his reps in and actually is able to contribute for that major league team.
Real Muto and Bethancourt, top 5 in pop time among all major league catchers. Real quick, pretty good question from the chat regarding Adley Rutschman. Rory, off the top of your head, do you know where Rutschman was on this list?
Off of the top of my head, I'm not sure, but I know he's like right behind,
just outside the top 5.
maybe 6, maybe 7, 8. Yeah, he's right outside.
Okay, good stuff. All right, thanks, Rory. Let's continue the American League West conversation. Let's talk about the Oakland A's. 29th overall, 29th in pitching, 5th in defense. Okay. 30th in contact, 27th in power, 17th in speed. Mero, this is a franchise that is, they're going through a rebuild, reimagining, whatever you want to term it. They got really cool uniforms. I love that Kelly Green, that the gear that they wear on Friday. So
it's amazing. And, Oakland is a great city. What else? What else can I say about the
shout out to Marshawn Lynch.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Shout out to Beast Mode. He's an A's fan. Listen. Let's be real. Like you said, they're rebuilding, they're reimagining. The team is mid, but when you have a team that's mid and you're rebuilding, reimagining, you got some good young guys.
Yeah.
So A's have a couple of them.
I mean, look at this. The yellow top with the white pants and the green cap. I'm all about that.
Let's go.
And then if you want to go with the sleeveless look, that's also a very cool look there. Seth Brown, 80 power against righties, 80 fielding as well for the Oakland A's. And then who else we got? Oh, here's some more. Here's some gameplay video of Seth Brown. Of course, Mero, you, the Yankee fan, you got to remember that that Jeter flip play that we hear about all the time. That was against the Oakland A's.
Yeah, that's what he does. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the captain. My captain, I have a massive fat head of him right here. Shout out to Jeets. We got Jeets in the building.
Oh, look at that. You should get him to sign that next time.
He did. It's signed.
Oh, it is signed. My bad. Oh, look at that.
There we go. Look at
that. That thing's gonna find its way on eBay pretty soon. One more here. Connor Capel of the Oakland A's. You take a look at his contact against righties, below 70 at 67. The arm strength rated as 81. Your top 5 Oakland A players: Seth Brown, Aledmys Diaz, acquired in the offseason from the Houston Astros. The bad guy, Razor Ramon Laureano, is at 75, along with Zach Jackson and Jace Peterson at 74. Joining us now is Jimmy Doss. He's part of the MLB The Show live team, and he's joining us now to talk about Road to the Show, a place where if you're good enough, you can work your way to the minors, to the majors, the World Series, maybe even the Hall of Fame. Hey, Face Scan is coming to Road to the Show. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, we're excited to have this in there. This will knock down countless minutes, hours that it always takes everyone to create themselves, including me. So, yeah, you can get right in, take a selfie. One picture is all you need, and you'll be right in the game.
I love that. I love the possibilities of what this brings for Road to the Show. Let me ask you about, there's a new ball player hub as well as part of Road to the Show. What should we know about that?
Right. This will help the player navigate around their new ball player hub, so they can check out their stats, check out all the customizations they need to do, work on their player, and it's really easy to navigate, really intuitive for the user now. Not so convoluted like it used to be. Trying to make it real simple.
Now, you mentioned a couple of things that are new to Road to the Show, the face scan, the new ball player hub. But one thing that is returning as part of this mode is on-field training. Tell us more.
Yeah, we want you to be able to build up your ball player like a real ball player, and that's on the diamond. They're going to enhance their skills by doing the things that they would do on the field, so you can do that, in the game.
Hey, for players that have just mainly done franchise or Diamond Dynasty, but have yet to really try Road to the Show, what would you tell them?
I mean, Road to the Show is the ultimate baseball fantasy role-playing game, RPG. So, this is where you can live out your fantasy. Like I said, being a minor to getting up to the major leagues, eventually winning the World Series with your team and getting in the Hall of Fame and getting all the accolades that you want in your journey.
Well, we appreciate the time, Jimmy. Jimmy Doss from the MLB The Show live team talking about some of the changes and new features in Road to the Show. Jimmy, great stuff, man. Talk to you soon.
Thank you, Roflo.
All right, just crossing the half-hour mark here. You're watching MLB The Show 23 Ratings Reveal Special, brought to you by MLB The Show. I'm Robert Flores from MLB Network. Thank you very much for joining us alongside my co-host, the Kid Mero, comedian.
That's right, baby. We're here.
Producer, huge baseball fan, huge Yankee fan. Hey, let's say, Mero, we dip into the old feedback bag, and let's see what we got here. This one here from Little Mac 88. Goldie should probably be a 95. Judge is 99, and he was obviously better. Is there a question in there, or are we just taking...
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I read that as Judge is better than Goldie, or are you arguing for Goldie or against Goldie, Little Mac?
Oh, so he's got a problem with... Okay, Little Mac 88 has a problem with Goldie being a 99. Okay. All right. Well, to each his own.
Okay.
I would say you're incorrect. I think they should both be a 99.
There you go. Hello.
Absolutely.
I mean, the guy was MVP.
We got one more here from RGD watching on YouTube. Alcantara a 90. Burns a 95. Why? Question mark, exclamation point. Can we pull up Corbin Burns' numbers there? Because that's a really good question. I mean, I love Corbin Burns. Dude's nasty. One of the best pitchers in the game, but considering what Alcantara's season was like a year ago, right. I think I think RGD might have a point here.
He might. I mean, also we got to take into account this is a 3-year average.
That's true.
So,
that's a very good point.
I mean, if it was based on last season, bro, Alcantara's a 99.
Now here's Burns' numbers. He's a 95 overall, as mentioned. Hits per 9 is at 88. K per 9 is at 80. And look, depending on how the Brewers season goes, maybe Corbin Burns ends up in another uniform towards after the trading deadline. But still got a lot of baseball to go before that happens.
He's got big trade at the deadline energy.
Yeah. Mero, we have hit every division except for the National League West. And we begin with the Los Angeles Dodgers. 4th overall is their ranking. They're ranked 3rd in pitching, 14th in defense, another top 5 in contact, just outside the top 10 in power at 11. What's your take on the Dodgers this year, Mero?
Los Dodgers, man. Los Dodgers. Los Dodgers. Échale con ganas, güey. I mean, they're always in the conversation, man. They're always in the conversation. If it wasn't, if the Padres weren't so good, division. But the Padres are another juggernaut team in the same division, so I don't know. But the Dodgers are a strong-ass team, bro. They're perpetually good.
No, they develop young players. They obviously have just about more money than anyone, and they use it to acquire talent, so they're always good. 2 players that are always good as well, Clayton Kershaw and Mookie Betts. Let's hear some reactions from their ratings.
99 is the best. I mean, I hope I'm in the upper 80s, 90 range, be my hope. I don't know. That's perfect. There we go. That's how hard I throw.
I would say I think my rating is about 92, somewhere in there.
Oh, 96. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
So you're happy with that? Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Mero, I love that Clayton Kershaw said 91. Yeah, that's about what I throw. That was good. Mookie Betts, he's one of the signature players in all of Major League Baseball. Contact against lefties, the power is at 85. The contact against lefties is at 81. Mero, this guy is so good. And
he's really good.
To think that he came up as a second baseman, moved to the outfield because the Red Sox had Dustin Pedroia, and then he became the best right fielder in the game. It's unbelievable.
Bro, he's just a baller. You know what I mean? Like, and I can say that with my whole chest. I don't have to hedge or front like he's not good because he plays for the Red Sox. This guy is a generational talent. Everybody knows about Mookie. Let's be real. And like you said, like I think this guy can play shortstop, bro. If he wanted to, he can play catcher. He's just a baller, dog. Like he goes out there and he makes it happen. So I mean, the numbers, you know, are probably where they should be, like, you know, 80s, mid 80s.
Well, the Dodgers do have some question marks at shortstop. I think you're going to see Mookie Betts play a lot at second base at points during the season. He's playing second for Team USA in the WBC. Back to Kershaw, 91 overall, 85 stamina. The hits per 9 is at 83. He's one of the best to ever do it. Mero, and just pull up Baseball Reference or the back of his baseball card. It's unbelievable what this guy's done.
For so many years in a row, too. Like, it's not like, you know, he had like 2 good years. So he's great. The guy's consistently good. Man, like, what can you say? Like, it's, you know, it's Clayton, man. And, you know, hopefully he does what he does in the postseason.
Yeah. Now,
like, they do it in the playoffs.
That was the wrap on him, and I think he's since come through in some big spots, helping the Dodgers win that title in the shortened season of 2020. Let's talk about another lefty Dodger in that rotation, and that is Julio Urias. Orale, playing for Team Mexico, pitching for Team Mexico in the World Baseball Classic. Hits per 9 is at 83. The slurve break is at 99. And you take a look here at the top 5 overall players according to rankings. Right now, you remember, these are offline rankings here. Mookie Betts is atop the list at 96. Clayton Kershaw is at 91. The reliever, Evan Phillips, is at 90. Freddie Freeman might be a little too low for me. I think he's worthy of being in the 90s, as the same case for Will Smith. I think he might be ranked a little bit low as well. He is an excellent caller of the game behind the plate.
I agree, man. I thought they were going to be 90s myself. I thought they would at least be at 90 or 91, respectively.
Your top 5 electric sliders. So this is sliders with at least 99 break and at least 95 control. Blake Trinan now assumes the closer duties for the Los Angeles Dodgers. Jimmy Nelson, Adam Ottavino, Luke Jackson, and Shohei Ohtani finds himself on the list here. Rory joining us back here, our ratings expert from Sony. Rory, what can you tell us about this list? How did it come about?
Yeah, so, I mean, when we're looking at pitch break, you know, we're kind of looking at the exact movement of how the pitch breaks and compare it to pitchers who throw the same pitch at a similar velocity and then kind of go base off of the average. And you look down the line, you know, Blake Trinan not only has the insane sinker, also has an insane slider, which they both go opposite directions. You can't hit either of them. Jimmy Nelson, unfortunately, you know, has dealt with health issues, but when healthy in 2021, opponents hit just 0.29 against his slider. It moves so much. It's nasty. Adam Ottavino makes a living off of his slider, also uses his sinker quite a bit, you know, but with his insanely way behind you arm release, when you're hitting against him just in MLB The Show, it's hard enough to hit righty against him. I honestly can't imagine how terrible and terrifying it is in real life to face that slider. Luke Jackson, kind of same thing with Jimmy Nelson, you know, health issues, but when he is healthy, that slider is one of the most dominant. And then Shohei Ohtani, he made a living off of throwing that slider as his primary pitch in 2022. It was really one of his most effective. It was the second ranked slider in run value in 2022. So we're looking at all these metrics and just really trying to hone in on what makes it move well, and then how well they can command it and stop hitters from making contact, really.
Are you surprised Dylan Cease wasn't on this list?
You know, a little bit, but I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure he is like right there as number 6. I think with it, you know, as soon as he kind of cuts down on the walks, in the same way like Ottavino from 21 to 22, he shrunk his walk rate by more than half. So once Dylan Cease, you know, kind of gets more of that control, being able to limit his walks, then you're going to see his control get up there. But if you look at the break on it, it is one of the highest or one of the best moving sliders.
All right, good explanation there from Rory. More with him in just a second. Now let's talk about the San Diego Padres, a team that has, the mantra has to be, we're going for it, because boy, did they go for it this past offseason. And they have been bringing in players, spending money, 7th overall. That might be a little low for me. 9th in pitching, 11th in defense, 13th in power, and 12th in speed. You know, Mero, for the first time seemingly in a while, the Los Angeles Dodgers look somewhat vulnerable. Now, relax, Dodger fans. I'm not saying that they stink and they're not going to win a bunch of games. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that the Padres, for the first time in a while, look like a legitimate, maybe heir to the throne against the Dodgers. But, of course, it still has to be settled on the field.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. I mean, slam Diego. But, like, yo, like you said, they got to play the games. But on paper, dog, this is the Monstars. You know what I mean? Like, they had a hell of an offseason, dog, and they went and they got everybody they wanted to get. The people that are already there are going to be a problem. They don't got Fernando until like halfway through the season or something like that. But when he links back up, oh my God, that team is going to be a problem.
Well, they kind of remind me of the NWO, right? Remember towards the end when the NWO had like 50 dudes? That's kind of what the Padres are, you know?
Yes.
NWO for life. For life. Hey, let's get some rating reactions, starting with Juan Soto.
My overrate is gonna be, I would say, I gotta be on the 90s. 90. Oh my! I gotta do better. It's okay. Don't worry. I got you, MLB.
My overall ranking, I mean, for this year, it's gotta be at least, won't give myself 99, but at least a 97. I'll be good with a 97. What? Come on, man. They always trying to make me lower. 97 is at least, you know, 99 is the top. You know, that's Mike Trout, Ohtani, but I'm like right 2 under them.
I mean, look, Mero, I love this dude's game. Contact against righties, 92. Power against lefties, also a 92. He's one of the best in the game, Mero, and I think he's really taken a leadership role in that clubhouse with the San Diego Padres.
Definitely, man. Like, listen, I remember when, like, you know, it was like, where's he gonna go? Where's he gonna go? Is he gonna be a Yankee? Is Manny gonna be a Yankee? And then he went to San Diego, and I was like, shh. And then Juan goes to San Diego. I'm like, bro, they are building Voltron over there.
Yeah.
And am I crazy for thinking that Juan Soto should be a 92 at least overall?
What was Soto's ranking, guys? I might have missed it. Well, listen, he will tell you, Mero, that we did not see the best version of himself in San Diego. I remember, not to name drop, but I ran into him in the DR this offseason, and he said basically there was so much swirling around him with the trade talk, the contract extension, what's going to happen, where. And so I think you're going to see more of the old Juan Soto this year for the San Diego Padres. Another signature player that they signed in the offseason, Xander Bogaerts. Look at his numbers here. 83 rating, contact against righties, 99 contact against lefties. This is what I'm talking about, that NWO thing, Mero. They've got superstar players, talented players all over that can play in a variety of positions as well.
No, I almost forgot that they got him. I forgot, I was mad. I wasn't mad. I was like, great, he walked from the Red Sox. Awesome, great. Now the team is getting worse and worse. But when they got him, again, exactly what you're saying, bro. They're just scooping everybody up.
Yeah.
They're doing like old Steinbrenner maneuvers, man. Like, just who's the guy? Get the guy. You know what I mean? Bring him over here, bro. Who else are they gonna get? You know what I mean? Like, are they done? You know what I mean? Like, are they gonna wait this year, halfway through the season, and get Aaron Judge for cash considerations?
Yeah. Hey, for real, they jumped in at the last second on Trey Turner. So just imagine if that had happened. Unbelievable. Trent Grisham, no BGs when he's batting. 87 fielding, 78 speed. He struggled at times at the plate last year, but boy, did he catch fire in the playoffs, especially against the New York Mets. Shout out New York Met fans. Top 5 rated players for the Padres: Machado, Soto, Joe Musgrove, who shoved against the Mets in that playoff game. He's at 86, along with you, Darvish, and then Xander Bogaerts. All right, let's bring back in Hunter Pence to talk about another one of his former teams, the San Francisco Giants. And Hunter, you obviously know this franchise very well. Overall, they're at 23. Their contact is at 28. They are in the top 10 in power. Pitching is at 20. Defense is ranked 26th. And speed, dead last at 30th. What are your overall impressions of the San Francisco Giants going into this season?
Roflo, I feel like a dagger has been inserted into my back and my heart. And by the way, I love MLB The Show, and I love the guys over there. But, 81-81 last year, and that was a disappointing season. I think a lot of injuries had a lot to do with what happened to the Giants last year. I think their pitching is actually exceptional. You're looking at, Cobb, you're looking at Webb, you're looking at Doval. The bullpen is solid. They have a lot of great matchups with the sidearm with Tyler Rogers and Taylor Rogers. Just a lot of really funky arms and really, really, really good bullpen. Doval topping out 102, sink and cut. It's just a lot stronger team if they play defense. I think the defense and Crawford being injured last year really was the crux of their season, and that's following a 107-win season that I know kind of weighed on them and brought the spirits down. I think there's lower expectations, but I think there's higher talent, and I think they're going to be looking at another playoff run.
Well, Hunter, you mentioned Logan Webb, and overall he's an 83. The stamina is in the 90s. The sinker break is at 99. This guy, when he's right, one of the best pitchers in the game.
Yeah, and when you say when he's right, last year he had a 2.88 ERA. I think he was or close to 16 wins. One of the best pitchers in the game of baseball. And if you go toe-to-toe with Aaron Nola, Logan Webb probably had a little better season than Nola, obviously pitching in a different ballpark. But you can't tell me that Nola's a 91 and Logan Webb is not in the 90s and not a diamond pitcher. This is one of the best young pitchers in the game. Yes, he has one of the best sinkers. He has also a filthy changeup. He has one of the most devastating sliders. He works the east to west, and he has command through the roof. This is a winner. This is a young kid that's hitting his prime and going to get better.
Mitch Haniger comes over from Seattle to join this ball club. Hunter, overall, he's an 83 as well. Power against righties around the mid-70s. The power against lefties is almost in the mid-90s. What does Mitch Haniger bring to this lineup?
Yeah, Mitch Haniger is a ball player. This is a guy who plays good defense. This is something that they're really looking forward to having. He's also got a lot of intangibles. He just does a lot of the little things right. He has a lot of discipline at the plate, a really smooth swing path that can battle both righties and lefties. He's in the zone a long time. Just a through and through ball player. This is a gamer. He's known to be clutch, and just one of those guys that you love to have on your team. You love to watch, and he goes out and takes care of business.
And lastly, Hunter, you mentioned him earlier. Camilo Doval, one of the, I think, underrated closers in the game. This guy has absolutely filthy stuff.
Yeah, and he's really kind of tuning it in now. I think adding the sinker last year really completely changed his whole repertoire, because you can't, it was just the cutter and the slider, everything moving the same direction. Yeah, it's overpowering at 102, but you can line up a bat path and anticipate that. Now, if it could go left, could go right, and it's also at an elite speed, we're looking at one of the best young closers in the game. This is a guy that I could see closing the All-Star game this season. He's that good. He's that talented. There's not a more electric arm in the game.
Yeah, and Doval is firmly in the top 5 of the San Francisco Giants rosters, checking in overall at 79. 8 players in the 83 range for Mitch Haniger and Logan Webb. Alex Wood and Brandon Crawford. Wood, of course, a right-hander in that rotation, in the aforementioned Brandon Crawford, one of the better shortstop and has been for a long time. He is in at number 77. All right, thanks to Hunter Pence. Let's move on to the Arizona Diamondbacks. Staying in the National League West, 22nd overall, 13th in contact, 8th in speed. And will that speed be even more on display with the new rule changes? They are 24th in pitching. There's a couple of categories here, Mero, where I think they're a little bit too low on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Yes, look, the Dodgers and the Padres, they're the heavy favorites for this division. But the Arizona Diamondbacks, I think, are going to be pretty good, and they're going to win a lot of games, Mero. Yeah,
I got to win like 85 to 90 something games.
Big number.
Big number. I think they're going to steal a lot of games. And, you know, as somebody in the chat was saying, like, that they're a sneaky pick for the over-under wins there. You know what I'm saying? For all my gambling folk.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, they've got a lot of young, talented players. Let's start with talk about a couple of them. Zach Gallen and Christian Walker. We got reaction from both of those guys. Zach Gallen and Christian Walker. Check it out.
I feel like it's not going to be this, but this is what it should be. But I don't think I'm going to be too happy. I think MLB The Show is going to do me dirty. Yeah, MLB The Show. I'm not too happy about that, honestly. It should be a 90, but I guess we got some work to do, I guess, around here. I feel like my stamina is not going to be that high. I'm going to go with, I think it's like going to be maybe like an 83. That's pretty sloppy handwriting. 86. Interesting. My hits per night's got to be somewhat high, I would think. I'm going to say it's going to be like a 94. Let's see what we got, MLB. 86? Yeah, I got to talk to somebody over there. I don't know about that, but I mean, I guess I got work to do, apparently.
I'm Christian Walker here doing my MLB The Show ratings. So I guess my overall, I think if I could sniff 90, I'm gonna give it 88 overall. Actual 83. Yeah, good. Made it in the 80s.
Yeah, I love Zach Gallen's reaction, Mero. 86 stamina, 86 hits per 9. Remember, a 3-year average here. But I like to see when the guys get a little salty about when they feel like their rating's a little too low.
If you're a fan of the team, if you're a D-backs fan, you want your guys to be salty because they're going to go out with a battery in their back to prove, you know, the devs wrong. So, you know.
Yeah, and remember, these are offline ratings, so these aren't, you know, live or online or Diamond Dynasty ratings or anything like that. But Zach Gallen, I think he emerged as a guy that could be a potential all-star starting pitcher, pitching for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. The Diamondbacks, I think, are on a really nice trajectory here. And then you also saw Christian Walker, Mero. I'm not sure if you're familiar as you take a look at his rating numbers here. Power against righties is at 83 and 90 fielding. I'm not sure, Mero, if you've seen Christian Walker's home run celebration. Are you familiar with it?
I'm not.
So I don't know if you can see it, but as he's rounding first, he gives you the kind of the... You know, he does that to the bullpen, and it makes me laugh every time. So if they had a home run celebration, it would definitely be a 99. But as we were saying, listen, I mean, the Padres and the Dodgers, yeah, they're the heavy favorites, but Diamondbacks, I think they're building something pretty special here. Maybe they're not in the playoffs this year, but I think, I think moving forward, they can definitely be a playoff contender. And a big part of this youth movement, or the young potential stars that they have, Drew Jones, their top pick last year. He, of course, is the son of Andrew Jones, Mero. And I remember as a 19-year-old, Andrew Jones going into old Yankee Stadium and going deep twice in the World Series.
Yep.
So let's take a look. Yeah.
Hey, listen, but I love this news. I love the. I don't even want to call them Nepo babies because they're there on merit. It's not like they're bad and they make it. But that second generation of of guys. You know what I mean? Like, and the new one's coming in.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Little C, CC Sabathia's son.
Yeah, that's right.
Jones,
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
all these guys are going to be the future of baseball. Can't wait to see it.
Don't forget Jack Leiter. We could see Jack Leiter in the big leagues maybe sometime, maybe as soon as this year for the Texas Rangers. You take a look here at the top 5 rated players for the Arizona Diamondbacks. You got Zach Gallen, Christian Walker, Merrill Kelly, another very good starter. Evan Longoria, he comes over and signs a 1-year deal with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He's at 77. And then Jake McCarthy rounding out their top 5. All right, let's bring it home with the Colorado Rockies, 28th overall. 28th in pitching, 18th in contact, 22nd in defense, 29th in power, 23rd in speed. Merrill, you spent much time in Colorado or Denver?
A little bit, not a ton. You know what I mean? It's up there, and the teams are mean.
Yeah, that altitude's real, man. It definitely is a thing. But the Arizona Diamondbacks hoping to turn around their season, didn't quite have the season that they were hoping for a big bounce-back season from Chris Bryant. C.J. Cron is a big power hitter for the Colorado Rockies in the middle of that order. Here's his reaction to his rating.
I think my overall player rating is 82. B minus seems pretty solid.
Hey, C's get degrees. Remember that, guys. Remember, B minus definitely get you a degree as well. For C.J. Cron, his contact against righties 75. His power against lefties is at 82. Merrill, I'm not sure if you saw his home run. I think it was last year at Coors Field, but I mean, I think it went every bit of 500 feet. It was remarkable to see how far that ball went.
He got it out of here. And listen, Coors Field, very, what do they call it? A hitter's ballpark? It's a hitter's ballpark, you know? So, it looked even more fire.
Absolutely. Chris Bryant about to begin his second season with the Colorado Rockies. Contact against lefties, 88. Power against lefties is at 76. He didn't play very much, Merrow, in 2022. He was riddled and hampered with injuries. But when this guy's right, he can do damage, especially at that ballpark.
Yeah, no, he's like you said, when he's right, he's a problem. We were saying this about Carlos Correa, Buxton. Like when these guys are on, they're great. And Chris Bryant is one of those guys. Also, he's one of those guys that I'm like, wow, you look weird in this uniform.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a couple of guys. It's going to take a while. Maybe because we didn't see a lot of Chris Bryant last year because of the injuries. Right. It's going to take a while to get used to him in Rocky purple and black. Nolan Jones, 63 contact against righties and a 99 arm defensively. All right, so let's take a look at the top 5 overall players for the Colorado Rockies going into MLB The Show 23. Remember, these are offline ratings here. C.J. Cron tops the list at 85. Daniel Bard is a great story, an all-star closer after taking some time away from the game. Brendan Rodgers, who's battling a shoulder injury, so that could be problems for the Colorado Rockies. Ryan McMahon, no chance. That's what you got. He's at 77. And then Chris Bryant rounding out the top 5. All right, let's bring back in Rory McCann, our ratings expert over at Sony, for one more check-in. Rory, now that we've unveiled all the offline ratings, what comes to mind?
I mean, really, we're really proud of what we put together here on the team. The roster team put in a ton of hard work to get it to be as close to real life as, we could. That's our goal always, reflect real life. And we're really proud of what we've put out. And for those who, everybody wants to know, like, oh, why aren't they higher? Why aren't they lower? Well, our first roster update in season is going to be just a couple weeks after opening day, and you're going to start seeing the movement begin. That's when the fun starts happening all throughout MLB The Show.
Well, as I said, the chat, the MLB The Show community, they're passionate, they're smart, they're insightful, so they always have good questions. Well, I don't want to say always. That every now and then there's some clunkers, but A lot of them had some really good questions about where the guys were rating and how come this guy was rated higher than the other. So, Rory, we appreciate the time, man. Congratulations, and I know the work is still ongoing for you and your team. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a blast. Thank you.
All right. That's Rory McCann from the Sony ratings team. As he have a few more moments here on stream here with my man, the Kid Mero here. I think we got some more feedback here. Kirk watching on YouTube. Manny should be a 97 or a 98. Soto should be a 90 overall.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I over 90. Oh, Soto should be over 90. I think he's got a point, Merrill. I mean, maybe a little too low on both of those guys.
Yeah, that's not even a hot take, bro. That's like a very mild take. You know what I'm saying? Like, both of those dudes definitely 90 overall plus guys, you know? Maybe a 99, 98? Maybe, you know? But again, like, the 3-year average thing is what kind of throws me off. You know what I mean? You can't just go by what did this guy do last season, you know? So that plays into it a lot. So, hey, just do some math, y'all. You know what I mean? Start doing some long division, and you might be pleasantly surprised.
Well, I was told there would be no math, but let's get one more feedback here from Jugsy Siegel, friend of the program. On Twitch, Corbin Carroll says he's a lock for a 30-30 home run season. Now, those are some big numbers. I love the player's upside. His card last year in the choice pack, it was in just so many people's Diamond Dynasty lineup. But yeah, I mean, Corbin Carroll has that ability, but 30-30, that's hard to do.
It's hard to do, but if somebody can do it, Corbin can do it. Like you said, he's got the tools to do it, man. He's got the wheels, he's got the power. Let's see. I might put that on my to-do list as far as, you know, wagering.
Yeah, that could be a nice little prop bet. My man Max in my ear telling me that between the minors and the majors last year, Corbin Carroll hit 28 home runs. So we'll see how it plays out. Merrill, this was a lot of fun, man. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Rofo, you're a legend, my guy. I'm blessed to be here. Thank you, and shout out to you for. The chat says that I'm saying it in real life. All the wrestling references are fire.
Hey,
let's go.
You know what can I say? I grew up in the Attitude Era. Then, you know, that's just what happens. Hey, man, we'll have to exchange informations, gamer tags, the whole thing. Maybe get a game in.
Let's do it.
All right. Hey, a reminder, guys. Remember, MLB The Show 23 comes out on March 28th. Early access, March 24th. Remember, you can catch my streams of MLB The Show 23 on my Facebook page and on Twitch. Thanks for everyone watching. Enjoy the game and enjoy the rest of your week.
Peace, y'all.